Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nerdverse Odyssey, episode 8. This is the second time we're doing it because apparently I unfortunately upset Captain Baby Pants with the purple hair. I'm Nico. This is Nerdverse Odyssey. And to my left is Captain Dipshit. Nobody wants to talk to him. Down below me is my bestest of best internet buddies, the one, the only, Captain Pops. Rico. What's up, buddy?
Salutations.
All right, back to Hunter since he's a big baby and made us restart the podcast. How you want to do your stupid Totoro joke again? Just curious.
A, that isn't the name of the character. B, when you pointed at me, you actually pointed the opposite direction. So good job.
No. For my video, and because this is gonna go on my YouTube channel, it's me pointing at you on my screen.
Yeah, but on my screen, you're pointing the wrong direction.
Yeah,
so
because you're over here, but I'm over here.
Yeah, see, you just pointed it to the right direction. So you know where I'm at, clearly. Good job.
Anyway, do you want to do the joke again, or are we gonna do the podcast?
No, you ruined it. You ruined it. That's on you. Nobody else gets to enjoy it now.
Okay, nobody wants to hear from you anymore. Rico, how was your week?
Short version is, well, in Hunter's absence, I got done with my round of antibiotics and sickness.
Nice.
That's pretty much for the most part. I mean, how much in depth do you want me to get into? What are we trying to do?
No, we're just gonna say I played this game. I watched this TV show.
Okay. Well, since Hunter was out there gallivanting again, no I'm joking. As far as TV, I finished The Brother's Son. It was on Netflix.
What'd you think?
Good.
No,
I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. Good.
At least a 9 out of 10.
Good. I'm excited to talk more about that.
Okay.
He's gonna be mean and make us not dive into stuff right now. So
yeah, just give you 2 seconds. Because okay, so first of all, we're doing this on a different day. We usually do this on a Saturday because we talk a lot. But Hunter had the brilliant idea, hey, let's do the podcast on like a Tuesday or a Thursday because we have to put the kids down early and we got schools in the morning, so it'll make it easier for us with tiny children to probably stop the podcast earlier and have a normal day tomorrow.
yeah, really, I just didn't want you guys to keep me up till 2 a.m. anymore. It's too hard on Sundays. Everybody's around. There's lots of loud children. My wife yells at me for being in bed.
I can't get my beauty sleep. My hair is gonna turn white again.
Actually, my hair's already turned white. If you can't tell, it was purple.
He's in his Robin face.
No. Who was the chick who played Batwoman in the TV series?
Oh, the character that wasn't in Kane?
Yeah.
Rose.
There he is.
Oh, was it Ruby Rose?
Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose. There you go.
Yeah, he's Ruby Rose's stunt double.
Hey, I'll take it.
I mean, it could be worse. It does look like the women's soccer player. I forget what she was. She was part of the Olympic team where she had colored it. Not that close to that color. I have to find a picture.
I think I know the one.
But you're still my hero, Hunter. You're still my hero. No matter what.
I'll be your Batman, Robin.
Oh yeah. I went back and watched Punisher.
Ooh, okay.
So I finished that. I'm on season 2, episode 1 now. Kind of anxious about that, but I think Hunter said he didn't like it. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It's him.
No, I don't think we talked about Punisher.
Said that it felt different from season 1.
I was 50-50 on it only because that was around the time where Netflix was going super hard on the fuck Trump campaign, and it bled over into the shows really hard. So it like season 2 felt more like it felt like a B-side story in Far Cry 4. Was that the Backwoods one? Yeah, it was. It felt a lot like a B-side quest in Far Cry 4. That's why I was kind of like, eh. But it was cool. If anything, for the last like 10 minutes where you actually got to see him be the Punisher, I was like, okay, that was kind of cool. But the rest of it was kind of a slog.
Season 2 was the Jigsaw season, right?
Yeah, and that was the other problem I had with Jigsaw. Why are we doing this right now? Hold on. Let's finish the weeks.
As far as movie, since Nico is rushing us, movies, I actually went back and watched Punisher Warzone with Ray Stevenson. So If anybody's out there, he plays in Ahsoka, which I haven't watched Ahsoka, but he's one of the main bad guys in that series. He has a beautiful beard. Love it.
He is a big fucking dude too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
He was a big dude.
We won't go into it, but at least say in the good guys, I liked him in the good guys. And actually, what was he? Firefly in G.I. Joe, even though G.I. Joe, the second part was not that well. I didn't like it that much.
I believe he was.
Let's see what else. As far as games, I haven't played too much, but I did read up on the Nintendo Yuzu battle right now.
Oh yeah, they're suing the emulator, or the guys who developed the emulator. I personally think it's going to fall through because an emulator is not legally binding. Sure. The only way.
So you said not to go into details. You're disrespecting Hunter right now.
Go back to the
disrespecting Hunter.
No, he's disrespecting himself.
Right, I am, because I'm the one who's going to.
You're a strong, independent woman, and you need to act like it.
All right. We'll get to that in the news section because that's a big one. I got some words for that.
And then the last thing I did this week was just what I did. I thought I watched it. I forgot what anime I wanted to watch. There's a new ninja one I seen where a guy's family gets killed, and now he's supposed to be helping with the FBI. You probably saw some of the trailers, but anything action, related to that?
It's a live action.
No, this is an anime. This is on Max, I think, where it's called Ninja. I want to say Kaizu, but I don't think it is called Kaizu. But it's Ninja something. But the premise is, I think his family gets killed. He teams up with the FBI agents or something that are investigating the deaths or whatever. Now he's going back, and it's just beautiful scenes of people jumping around and just getting sliced.
Nice. Nice.
So again, I'm a fan of. I've been a fan of Ninja Scroll since I walked in, and the demon guy was drinking blood from my arm. So anything like that was cool.
Okay.
Besides that, I did read up on the Fun Animation and Crunchyroll merger, and again the debate of digital versus physical media.
Okay. Well, you're definitely have to get into that. Hunter, how about you? How was your week?
My week was good overall. I got to watch the Iron Claw. Super stoked to talk to you guys about it since you finally watched it too. Watched the Avatar, the new Netflix series, and also watched The Beekeeper. I don't know if you guys have seen that one yet with Jason Statham.
Oh, I know of it. I haven't seen it. Isn't Bai Ling in that?
Probably.
Nice.
I'm not sure. Who's Bai Ling?
I'll show you later.
Okay. Well, there's that, I guess.
She's an actor. Crank 2.
Oh.
The Asian woman in Crank 2. The one who wears the really low cut shirt.
Are you talking about the prostitute?
Yeah.
The one who's like, "You're my man" or whatever, and then
that's Bai Ling. The one with the bob haircut.
I don't see her in the credits on first glance. I thought
she was in that one, but I think I'm doing that thing where I go crazy again and mix things up.
Yeah, you scrambled your brains.
Too.
The old.
You're like Kirsten Dunst, and we're like, no, it's not Kirsten Dunst. I swear to God.
In my defense, Kirsten Dunst was in Crow 3. So I wasn't too far off.
Wait, wasn't Kiki in Crow 4?
Kiki?
It's a nickname.
No, she was in Crow 1. If you talk about if you talk about the lady from Crank 2, she was in Crow 1. I think that was his sister.
My God, how do we go back to Crow debates?
Yeah, okay. Well, we're Hunter, going to later. Don't worry about it. All right, Hunter, keep going. I'm getting fucking sidetracked.
I mean, that's about all I've had going on for the week as far as media goes. I mean, I've been watching just random YouTube videos, but that's been about it otherwise.
No games?
No, not really this week. Well,
yeah, I mean, you did.
I did play. I did start playing Wild Rift again. League of Legends Wild Rift, the mobile game, because it's actually really fun. And unlike modern day League of Legends, where you really cannot solo carry anymore, and you just have to like cross your fingers and hope that your team doesn't int you down the game like the first 10-15 minutes before you can do anything relevant like by yourself. Like Wild Rift, you can just get 1,000 gold lead 30 seconds into the game and then just solo carry at the whole time. And I've played this is probably not okay to admit out loud, but I think I've played 16 or 17 games so far in the last week, all ranked, and I've won all but one of them, and I'm back up to plat. And so, yeah, it's very fun. I'm enjoying it.
Nice. All right. For me, I finally watched Peacemaker.
Oh yeah.
It was yeah. So when we talked about the Peacemaker on Saturday, I was like, okay, I'll go and watch it. I watched it. Oh man, was it good? I will say this: John Cena now has access to the good steroids because holy shit, did his face get big and his body get more cut than I've seen him in years. That dude was just
Yeah,
a
definitely
walking
that.
slab of man.
I mean, to be fair though, he did the same thing that The Rock did. After the Attitude Era ended and The Rock started going to Hollywood, he thought he had to trim down in order to get Hollywood roles, and so
Mm-hmm.
he started looking real tiny, like still shredded and still a big dude because it was The Rock, but he
Dude,
much smaller than he was.
yeah,
And
but
then he
John
realized,
Cena is looking massive. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
but if you look at him from uh, the Cock Blockers
Mm,
or that Amy Schumer film he was in, or the Vacation Couples
mm-hmm.
movie
Mhm.
that streamed. Like he looked visibly smaller in all those than he looked throughout his WWE run, and now I think he's basically going through the same realization as The Rock of he's still a just giant, ridiculous example of a human being.
Mm.
Might as well lean into it and get big
All
anyway.
right, that makes sense. But yeah, that was pretty good. Another one. Speaking of giant slabs of man, I also watched The Iron Claw. Um, I hope we get into it because that movie was absolutely fucking amazing.
There's no way we're not.
Yeah, right. Zach Efron is hitting. He just cornered the entire world supply of HGH and jammed it into his fucking face because that is not Zach
I
Efron
thought
anymore.
I thought the same thing, but according to my
He got into an
wife,
accident running around his
yeah,
house and like smashed his face, so he had to have reconstructive surgery.
No,
However,
I
he
thought it
that
was
said
on
that
his
there's no
vacation.
surgery.
it was what? No, what'd you
He
say?
said there was no surgery. This that was just naturally the way it healed after he booped his face
Oh,
on
is
a
that what it
fountain.
is? Okay, but yeah,
Yeah,
there's no fucking way that. Look at anybody who does
Yeah,
HGH and they get the same like exaggerated
that
face and jawline.
the
It
chisel,
happened
yeah.
with The Rock. It happened with Cena. It happened with Sylvester Stallone. That's exactly what he did.
see, I don't think it was HGH. I think he just got plastic surgery.
There's that too, but
Mm.
it looks almost too natural for it to be plastic surgery because it's not like over exaggerated like they usually do. It looks like his face could have grown like that.
In what world? It looks like somebody went to the EA character creator and just hit the slider all the way to the right on the chin jawline.
It really
Like, what are you talking about?
It really did. But okay, so look at some of his old some videos like some pictures of him from prior. His face like his jaw didn't go as big. That's why.
No,
Well, I
but
mean, since you mentioned the Rock, go back to the movie Baywatch with the
Oh yeah.
Rock, and he was in that one. Like as soon as I saw the trailer for Iron Claw, I was like, the first thing I told my wife was like, "What the heck happened to him? Like he really got a massive flow." And again, she's the one who mentioned the accident. But if you're telling me there was no plastic surgery done,
that's what
I don't know.
That's what he said, but also like his face looks like strange normally, like his jaw
Yeah.
is bigger and that's hard to like get over initially, but really what it is that his lips now look like the uncanny valley of like
Yes.
any VFX.
Yes.
That's what throws me off about it. Like they don't look
Mm-hmm.
natural. And so I keep thinking that there's some sort of VFX happening on his face every time I see him, and I can't get over it.
In all fairness, though, he was a really good pick for Carrie Von Erich.
Uh that was Jeremy Allen White.
No. Carrie is Zach Efron. Um. Oh fuck, you're right. I'm thinking of Kevin.
There it
Kevin's
is. Yeah.
Efron. Yeah. But I will say this, the guy that got to do Carrie Von Erich, damn near
Mhm.
spitting image.
Jeremy Allen White, yeah.
Yeah,
A little too
he was
small, but
such a
yeah,
good
great,
pick.
great
Yeah,
job.
way too small. Because Carrie was a big boy. Like I think he was tall. He was like taller and wider than Ultimate Warrior. Like
Yep.
he was fucking huge. And the fact that he like, so I had just watched WrestleMania 7 or 6 where he had a match in there. I was like, I can't believe he only had one leg during that match. It was fucking crazy. He moved like it was natural to him. Like we lost him way too early. That dude was a fucking legend.
Mm-hmm. For
But yeah,
sure.
Iron Claw. fabulous. Mwah, chef's kiss. For games, went back, played a little Elden Ring. Got drunk and decided to buy Pal World to play with Hunter. Pal World rocks, by the way. That is the Pokemon we wanted. It's
So
so
we
good.
also still haven't really got to play it yet.
Okay, so I've jumped in and been playing on my own. It's pretty
I've-
good.
So have I for
Yeah.
weeks, but we have not got to play together
This
yet.
is true. And I also got a game that just came out, and you're gonna have to bear with me because I keep forgetting this name. It is somewhere on my list. Here we go. The Secrets of Grindia. It has like that SNES 16-bit kind of like pixel art to it. The game has been in development for 10 years. Just went out of early access today. And it plays like Legend of Mana, but with a simplified system and jobless. It's a job, like your character is jobless. So you can literally just use whatever you want. Every item is available, so you can like cross change your jobs on like whenever you feel like it. Super fun too. There's a lot of like Legend of Mana and I'd say A Link to the Past kind of mixed in there because it has that like isometric hack and slash feel, but very smooth, super fun, 4-player online co-op and a roguelike mode. So highly recommend it. It's $13 on Steam right now. Get it.
What's it called again?
Legend of Grindia. No, wait.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah,
I
no,
lied.
good, because every time you say that name, it just makes me think
Secrets.
of.
It's Secrets of Grindia.
Yeah, it doesn't help. It still reminds me of adult games that you would find on like old Flash websites.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's it like I said, it's pretty good. I highly recommend it, and it's only $13 right now.
Okay.
Other than that, did a little painting, painted a abominable snowman, and I think that's it.
How's Godzilla?
Big. He's getting big, and he eats dubia roaches now, so that's nice because it's so much easier to take care of those than it is crickets. I lied. I did play one more game. However, it is an old game, but it just got re-released yesterday, and that is Star Wars Dark Forces. So Night Dive Studio, hallowed be thy name. They have re-released Star Wars Dark Forces remastered, AI upscaled 4K textures. They redid the CGI on all of the in-game cinematics, and they made it run at a lightning fast 120 frames per second, at least on PC and PlayStation. On the Switch, I think it runs at like a solid maybe 30. No, I feel maybe 60. I'm not too sure because it's an old game, so it doesn't have like, it's kind of harder to tell, at least in my opinion. But runs really smoothly. You can automatically swap between software render modes, so you can play it like you're playing it on the DOS version, and you can actually aim with the mouse if you're playing on PC. It is beautiful because I have the DOS version already. I've played it. It is rough. This solves that problem to a T. Only drawback, it is $30.
That's exactly what I was just thinking because I watched the trailer and all I thought was, in 6 months when I pick this up for $5, it's gonna be dope.
So Night Dive doesn't usually go down to like $5. I think you'll probably end up getting it somewhere between 10 and 15. Like they'll do half off sale, but it's worth the money. They put work in because they redid some of the engine to actually make it like work better. Down to, I think he said when they were kind of adding it into the Kex engine, they kept the original clock speed. So technically the game is running at, I think it's a clock rate of 122 cycles per second or something like that. So if you're playing on a modern monitor, it can get a little funky. It's crazy what they did with it. But yeah, that's my week.
I'm down to play it once it's cheaper. I just $30 for a
Yeah.
DOS game, man. That is rough.
I'm telling you right now, though, it's a lot of game. That and it's the true and only way that the rebels got the Death Star, the schematics of the Death Star. And the reason I say this is because you can, if you're playing on the expert difficulty, when you get thrown into Jabba's little prison section, you have to literally kill 3 of the Kell dragons with nothing but your fists. That man is a super Jedi.
But does Disney recognize it as canon?
No, Disney does not recognize Kyle Katarn as the big dick Jedi that he is.
Then Rebels or Rebel 1 is still the best Star Wars movie hands down ever made.
Uh, uh,
And they're still the
Fine.
ones that won the
I'll
war.
take it. I will take it because whatever. Fuck Star Wars. Star Wars is stupid. You know what? Star Trek's stupid too. Hot take of the day. Comic
Oh my
books
God,
are stupid. There
I
we
Hot
go.
take
I
of the
said
day.
it. I said it.
That's not a
Fiction
hot take.
sucks.
That's a hot shit you just took. Like, matter of fact, yeah, you're lucky because I just watched Fanboys too. That was just. Can't believe you.
That was a good movie. Fanboys was a pretty good movie.
I wish they made a sequel. But
Who knows? Maybe we'll get a prequel in 20 years.
that'd be
Wait,
dope.
wasn't there a sequel to Fanboys?
Oh God, I hope not.
No.
That'd be like saying that there was a Grandma Boys too.
I forgot. I watched that one too.
Grandma's
I fell
Boys is a good
asleep on
one.
it.
That's a good movie.
I fell asleep and then Danielle finished it oddly enough. Well, because of her health and stuff, she
Mhm.
finished it and she just reminded me of the scene with Jonah Hill and the one old lady. Like, you look young enough, and she climbs on him on the couch. I was like, oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I never
right.
watched it before. So she's like, what kind of movie were you watching yesterday? I was like, oh, it was classic. Like, yeah. What about that lady climbing on the couch with the Jonah Hill? Like, oh.
Okay, we finished weeks. Let's start talking about how stupid Nintendo is.
Well, first, I just checked. There was not, in fact, not a second Fanboys movie, so
Okay.
I was hopeful.
Okay.
Okay, now Nintendo. I have reason to believe that they are not going to win shit. The only way they would, and this is how they were able to get the Dolphin emulator off of Steam, was because, as much as I love the Dolphin emulator, I don't know what the fuck the guys that develop it were thinking. They put the GameCube BIOS in the distributable that they put on Steam, so that was destined to get fucking terminated. The thing with Yuzu though is the only way, because emulators are not illegal. An emulator is just a way for you, is a piece of software that emulates what you're trying to do. So in theory, this is where the whole legality of this comes from. If you own the media, you technically have the right to rip the media or, and this part's a little gray, acquire the media in some way, shape, or form to utilize through an emulator. That none of that is illegal unless you do not own the ROM or the actual image file, ROM, ISO, whatever. Where it gets a little funky is that technically you can, it is not illegal to download a ROM if you don't own the media, as long as you delete it within 24 hours. I don't know why that's still a thing, but hey, that's whatever. Anyway, the only way that they could win this case against Yuzu is if they are clearly giving out the BIOS for the Switch. That's the only way they could win. And I hope that the team behind that realizes this, because this isn't the first time that a company has gone after another company over emulators. I think the first one that I can recall was Sony suing the developers of Bleemcast, because what they did was they created a disc that allowed you to play certain PS1 games on the Sega Dreamcast. So Sega sued these guys and lost. And this is where we got precedence for emulators not being illegal.
Right.
That's why the only thing that would make it illegal is if they were also giving out the BIOS file for the system. That's why you never see any of like EPSX or any of those other emulators get targeted, because they're not distributing the BIOS for, like, say, PlayStation 1 games. You have to rip the BIOS from your specific console. Nobody does that. it's kind of like an unwritten rule of the internet. There's a certain place you go, you get it, and you're good to go. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. The thing that kind of gets me though is, I think the way the emulator works is, and I could be wrong. Oh no, I'm thinking of the mod chip for the Switch. Never mind. If the person owns the game, let's use Metroid Dread as a good example, because I know when that came out, they were able to upscale it to 4K and make it run a lot. Or no, Tears of the Kingdom. They upscaled it to 4K and unlocked the frame rate to allow it to have 60 frames a second, and we're putting that on YouTube. That's where they got pissy, because like, oh, people are going to see this and they're going to expect that this happens on the console when it doesn't. So I think that's kind of where this whole thing started from. Because I don't even think you can access the Nintendo eShop if you're on the emulator. Like, you can't really do anything with it. So I think they're just trying to counteract that. Like, it's like brand image.
Yeah,
but I don't think they'll win.
If I could add to that, since you mentioned it, that is what, between what I've seen from Asmongold to kind of the other dude, but I think it's like Some Ordinary Gamer and some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter, that's where Nintendo is citing their argument, is that due to the fact of Yuzu creating these services, they basically, quote unquote, created or promote a way to where the tech can illegally circumvent Nintendo software encryption and facilitates privacy. That's what they're going for. Even though folks who defended the Yuzu and other emulators. Yeah, emulator. I can't know why I can't say that word. I said my life.
Emulation.
That's what they're saying, that that's what Yuzu does not do. Nintendo's saying that, since you mentioned Zelda, that was the reason why. Again, the fact that Zelda got leaked, they're saying that they lost. I forgot how much. They said it's lost a certain amount of millions of dollars. That's also the reason why, because of Yuzu, they created a door that somebody can, like somebody was trying to give the example of, they made a car that somebody took, regardless if they bought it or stole it, and then they got drunk and killed somebody, so they're at fault. The Yuzu from manufacturing the car, and so that's what they're saying. Nintendo's trying to say is that you created this tech, you facilitate this service, and other people are using it to pirate our games.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to cut in and call bullshit that they lost any money on this. They sold 20.28 million copies of that fucking game.
Yes, and so that's what other creators are saying, that their argument doesn't hold weight because of what you just said.
Yeah,
you're going to tell me that money.
Tears of the Kingdom, I think the top selling Legend of Zelda game that has ever come out, lost sales. I'm pretty sure everybody who owns a Switch has that fucking game.
I don't have it, so you're wrong.
I don't have a Switch, so
there you go.
See, so only one of us has the game.
Yeah, so it's a 50-50 split. So one in every 2 Switch owners has this game.
But also, if you're going to try to make that argument, then you also need to sue Ludwig for having a stream where he played the game endlessly until he beat it, and then put that down to, I think, it was 2.5 hour long video, uploaded that to his YouTube channel.
Of how many million people who watch it, who now probably won't go buy the game, because why would they need to? They already saw it played. Like,
same goes for Twitch streamers and everybody else. It's not a good argument.
No, and that's the problem that Nintendo always does. Listen, I'll dick ride Nintendo all day. I love the stuff they come out with. My problem with Nintendo is the people who run it are a bunch of fucking retards. The fact that they'll... Wow, I just realized how that came out.
I bet you did.
That's fine. I'm keeping it in. Anyway, the fact that they will still go after... they'll still copyright claim YouTube channels because they put a Nintendo game on there. And the reason being, I was one of them. Konami was another one that got me. So it's like, I don't understand. I am promoting your game. I am playing it, and hopefully somebody will be like, oh, this looks cool, and we'll buy it. For you to like put a copyright strike on me for that, that's ridiculous. And it's the same thing with Konami did, which is why I've rarely bought Konami games, because I don't want to. I just think that was bullshit. And by the way, it was Contra. It was for a 10-second clip of me running across a field. And I was talking the whole time, but it still got copyright claimed.
Well,
Assholes.
because
Still in
the one thing I
existence?
found out,
What was
the one
that?
thing I found out too is that Japan doesn't have fair use like we do.
Oh yeah, no, they don't, and that's the other thing too. Because YouTube originates in the States, it follows by United States laws. They also have, since they have locations over in Europe, they have to follow European laws, so on and so forth. However, the fair use law is kind of a universal thing from the North American branch. So that law holds up in the U.S. Japan can block it for all they want in Japan, but they technically cannot copyright strike you for that in the U.S. But because Google uses mentally challenged bots to actually do this. No, it's the wild fucking west. What? What
I'm
is?
proud of you. We watched growth happen in front of our eyes. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, shut up. But yeah, no, it's just it's ridiculous. What were we bitching
Could the
about
argument
again?
be made though that could the argument be made though is that, and I think we talked about this in the previous podcast. Again, going back to ownership, where you have digital and physical media. Even though you bought the physical disc, do you technically own it? You own the physical copy, but far
Exactly.
as what comes with it with services, do you physically own that part too as well, or are you just given in a way a
You're
key
given a
to
license.
to
It's
play
just
the
like
game?
your copy of Windows. Any day now, Microsoft could be, if you have Windows 10, Microsoft could be like, if you don't want to upgrade to 11, no key, goodbye. I think that's kind of what they did with Windows. It's like 8. I think 8 did that. Was it 8 where they kind of like force you to swap over to 10, otherwise it will just stop working?
I'm sorry, you trying to give them shit for doing the world a service?
Mm.
You know what? I hear you. I do.
I have no dog in this fight.
I'm just saying. It's like that. Windows 11 is a trash fire abortion that should have never Windows 11. Actually, no, I'm going to stick with that. Windows 11 is a trash fire abortion that should have never happened. Same with Windows 8 and 8.5. Both what the hell is it with Microsoft having to try and be Apple? You saw it with Windows 8 and 8.1 where it was a fucking tablet OS, and now 11 just looks like a piece of shit Mac operating system. And I can say that I have a Mac upstairs for my wife, and it is a nightmare to work with every single time I have to touch the piece of shit.
Have you ever thought of the fact that maybe you're just bad with computers?
Mm.
No comment.
I feel like if everyone's an asshole, the problem might be you. And that probably applies to this situation as well.
How does it? I know how to use Windows computers. I know how to use a Mac. It's just the layout is stupid. I don't like it. I don't like change. I'm going to be a big man baby and scream at the clouds over it because that is my right.
You
But
can't
couldn't
even
the
see the
argument
clouds
be
are
that
inside.
Shut up.
couldn't the argument be that just with Mac or Apple stuff, it's more user friendly. So
See, that's the thing.
they're
It's
just gonna make it
not.
the way it is, just to make it like it is. So for
I don't
those
think
who
it is user friendly because my wife is very technologically challenged and she cannot figure out how to use the Mac, and it's touted as the easiest system to use.
In her defense, neither can you. So what's the difference?
My God,
oh
fuck you.
right in the we love this. I love this. Keep going. Keep going.
Don't you need to go do stunt work
Oh,
for
there.
Riley Robin or whatever the fuck her name is?
You
Ruby
way
Rose,
off.
you were so close.
I was there. I was there.
I don't think you were. You had the first letter of each name.
You just did a Chris Farley. When he gets frustrated, he has nothing to say to what's call it to Spade, and he just like you're stupid, and just walks away. Like
That man in a little coat. I love that movie. Tommy Boy's one of my all-time favorites.
So good. All right, so that's enough shitting on Nintendo for one day, I guess. But yeah, no, like I said, I don't think they're gonna win the case. I really don't. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you guys see. Did you guys see the production stills of the Crow remake with what is it, Alexander Skarsgård or whatever his name is?
no,
I'm not.
Who played Pennywise in the new It? Was that Alexander?
that was him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So
He also played the villain in John Wick 4. I can't
Yes.
remember what they called him.
Yeah, isn't he also the he's in
The
that new
Monarch or something?
Battle Royale movie that's coming out?
Oh
Boy
The new
yeah,
Kills
Battle
World.
Royale movie?
Yeah, Boy
Oh,
Kills World.
yeah. I'm very excited for
That
that.
looks really
I've been
good.
waiting for trailers for that movie for like a year now.
Who the hell is the voice of the of his who's his internal monologue? Because that voice sounds so familiar. It's from a cartoon we
Bob's
watched as a
Burgers.
kid in Canada. Who?
It's Bob's Burgers. He's did the voice of Yoda in the something something Dark Side, the Family Guy.
Did he ever do voice work in Home Movies?
Archer is another one he did.
I think that's the guy from Home Movies. I really think it is.
I know his face, I just don't know his name.
See, I don't know his face, but I know his voice.
I don't know
'Cause
either. So
I've seen his face. I don't know what show he popped up on, but I've seen his face on that one. And then, like I said, those characters he's done on every, for anybody else watching him.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Bill Skarsgård.
It was kind
Alexander he's the tall, sexy one from True Blood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm totally wrong. Bill
What is it,
Skarsgård.
the Northman.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta watch that one too.
Yeah. So Bill Skarsgård is the yeah, I can't figure out who this voice is. Whatever. He is playing the Crow. And the still images they have of it, and I hope Hunter's looking it up right now because he'll understand this as soon as I say it. It's got it was being made for modern audiences, and it's got big Zoomer vibes, and a little bit of Jared Leto's The Joker.
You know what would have been helpful? If you had prepared these images ahead of time and dropped them in the Discord so we could have all looked
No,
at them
no,
at
do
the
it
same
live.
time as you were discussing it.
Do it live because it just popped in my head.
Just saying maybe that
But
would be
yeah,
the way to go.
so that
Yeah,
talk we
face
had last.
tattoos?
Oh yeah, he's got like always tired or some shit right above his eyebrow, and he has a skullet. So he's got like the short, like, but it's like bushy, like bushier than mine. So it's kind of like they went for the broccoli haircut, but then just shrunk it down, and then just gave him a nice little skullet going down in the back.
The dude look more like.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
does.
I told
I don't
you,
know about that one.
it's got big Zoomer energy.
That's a vibe.
So you know
I'm
what's
digging
you know
it.
what's great?
You liking
Aside
it?
from his Kentucky waterfall and the Carney cut going on there, I totally want to see Jason Momoa with that haircut now. I'm not gonna lie.
He looks like a emo Billy Idol.
Yeah, and then there's a picture of him with the crow makeup. I swear to God, it just looks like emo Joker from Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
does.
it's the one where he has he has tattoos here,
Mhm.
here.
The big eye in between his titties.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
I mean,
don't
to be
know
fair,
what
he
the
looks pretty much exactly like he looks in Boy Kills World. So
Yeah, but so he looks exactly like that, but it's just the way they have the characters up. It looks like it's gonna be a fucking trash fire. I
I'm
can't
trying to figure out who FKA Twigs is.
She is she's a European model and actress. I don't think she's
Okay.
done much. She's pretty good looking though. I'll give her that.
they spent the whole budget
yeah.
on Bill.
I'm pretty sure they did, and her. I think those two are the top bills. But I want to say, shit, I'm forgetting his name. Who
I don't know,
played
like
Stance
I don't know,
in Ghostbusters?
who was it? What?
Paul Rudd? I don't know.
No. The original Ghostbusters. Who's the black guy? I can't remember. What's the actor's name?
Eddie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson. My bad.
I think Ernie Hudson is in the movie. I could be wrong though. I think I'm mixing the name. I'm mixing his name up with somebody else. Never mind. Forget it. Anyway,
Do you
that's
think you have Danny
that's the Crow.
Houston?
Huh?
Or you think you have Danny Houston?
Maybe I'm just crazy. I saw the list and I didn't see pictures, so I was like, okay, could be interesting.
That's the only name close.
Okay,
So.
yeah, and I'm just a big dumb.
Yep. We all knew that.
So is this supposed to take
Ooh.
place in London or something? Because I know it says
I don't think so.
he's supposed to be a British singer.
Oh, then maybe it is. That's weird.
At least from the People magazine or what does it say? I swear it said that he was supposed to be a British singer. That's why I mentioned the whole he looks like an emo Billy Idol.
Right?
Did you guys know that the other film that Bill Skarsgård is going to be in this year is Nosferatu?
I saw that there was a Nosferatu remake coming out. I think he's playing Maxwell Shriek,
Hold on, real
like the
quick.
actual vampire.
He's playing Count Orlok.
Who?
Yeah, that could be good.
So who's Bill? Is Bill the Northman?
No, that's Alexander. Bill
Well, this one's
was
so is that
Pennywise
another
in
brother? Because
It.
this one, the one playing this one is Eric Skarsgård.
There's a few of them.
There's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple Skarsgårds. The scientist from Thor is a Skarsgård.
Yeah, that's the father.
Yep.
Yep.
So Eric's is this one, and also Pennywise.
Yeah.
And then you're saying Bill is the
He's a
the
little brother.
Northman in True Blood.
No,
No, that's Alexander.
that's Alexander.
Bill is Crow and Boy Kills World.
No,
And
Bill's
Nosferatu.
not. That's Eric. Eric's the one that's going to be Bro. I'm reading his name right here. It says,
Am I having a stroke right now?
you know what? No, what? My bad. My bad. Never mind.
Probably.
Eric is the character. I'm going to be quiet now. God dang it. I blame Farhat because he didn't provide none of this stuff to read.
My
at the
man just
time.
had a
We
boomer
had all
moment.
week.
I mean, we got to watch your growth into wokeness live on this podcast, so I wouldn't talk much.
You know, fair enough. Fair enough. Fun times. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to how trashy the Crow is going to be. It looks like it's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm
And I
excited.
think it's like June 20th or something. It's soon.
I don't, all I know
It
is
might
my
be around
birthday's
the
coming
same
up,
time
and I
as
get to see
Deadpool
Dune
3.
2.
What was that?
So all I know is my birthday's about to happen, and it means I get to go see Dune 2, and I'm so excited.
I still need to see the first one.
But why? How?
I missed it. I missed all of it.
How?
Well-
You were literally trapped in your house. How do you miss it?
I missed
What else
it.
did you do with your time?
The other stuff?
So then, since you mentioned Dude, that brings up just a quick question. If you guys want, I want to hear you guys' take on it. The director said that, I think he said millennials or somebody had the wrong impression about movies. Movies are not about one-liners and scripts. It's all about the visuals.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because Denis Villeneuve's an asshole.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he doesn't make good movies.
He makes good movies, but he is definitely a prick.
Hunter telling it like it is, firm but fair. Out the
Look,
gate.
I don't care. I have the same opinion of Scorsese. His movies fucking rock. I absolutely love almost every single one of them that I've seen. But you know what else I enjoy? Marvel movies because they're still fun. And I don't care that it's all just a little bit of one-liners and fun jokes and interesting, but ultimately not good stories up until the final CGI battle at the end, because I want to be entertained for the 2 to 4 hours that I'm going to watch a movie. Some days that means I want really dumb shit, like fun comic book movies that mean nothing. Other days it means I want artistic and really cool comic book movies,
Once
like
upon a time in
Batman.
America.
I guess that too, but I was more just thinking of like really
comic
cool
book shit. Gotcha.
movies that actually get some sort of critical acclaim. Also, like The Dark Knight Rises and all this, because really it's just Batman, if we're being honest, that gets critically acclaimed,
Yeah.
and Black Panther. But then if I want to watch something really cool and artsy, then I also have those movies, and they're all dope. So everybody can shut the fuck up and just enjoy the movies. That's how I view it.
Yeah, but no, remember, this is 2024. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
And they all suck, so keep them to yourself.
What did Mom used to say? Everybody's opinions are like assholes. Everybody thinks theirs smells like roses and everybody else smells like shit.
That's close enough.
Ooh, big news. Bandai Namco no longer owns FromSoft, and FromSoft now owns the Elden Ring. So I guess they're still being published by Bandai Namco, but as of right now, they now own their IPs. So I think they've always owned Armored Core, and I think they still own Dark Souls, and Demon Souls for that matter. But yeah, they now fully own Elden Ring. So I think that's why the DLC was delayed a bit. But for anybody who likes Elden Ring and hasn't seen the trailer yet, go see the trailer for Shadows of the Erdtree. It looks amazing. I think the theme of this one is dex-based faith builds, because a lot of the weapons seem to have a lot of like holy energy to them, so like a lot of electricity and like light stuff. And my boy did a spinning front kick to a monster. So there is now at least a monk kung fu set in there. So I am totally going to be playing as a monk because that will be dope. And it's given off some pretty heavy Bloodborne vibes too. And I'm starting to think that I kind of know where the story is starting in the game. Like I know how to get into the DLC. I'm curious to see where the story goes though, because Miyazaki came out a little while ago and he was asked how big is the map, and he said it's as big as Limgrave, and I can't say anything more without spoiling it. So I actually think they just made a whole new fucking game.
I never played the first one.
Oh,
I'll be
dude,
honest.
you gotta play it. It is so good. Within 3 months, I put 300 hours in and platinumed it.
Yeah, I watched so many streamers play it like at the time because I just didn't have time for games and I didn't want to invest it. I had other things I wanted to do. And then by the time I was like, all right, I have time. What do I want to play? I was just like, well, I already know everything that happens and I've watched people beat it really easily. I've watched them beat it through insane difficulty
Mm-hmm.
modes. Like, I guess I'm good.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, Rico, if you haven't played Elden Ring yet, do it. It is so good.
I'll put it on my wish list. That's all I can do. That's all I can promise you.
Better
Well,
than
I can't make no
Diablo.
promises.
Well, which
Mm.
Diablo though?
Diablo 4.
Do you play Diablo 4, Rico?
I played Diablo 4. I have not messed with the DLC to the well, yeah. I just haven't had the energy to go back on that one, but I enjoy it. It's fun, especially when I can do builds and I can decimate some of the monsters. So
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I just didn't feel like they fleshed out the game enough. Like
There wasn't enough
it felt like
area.
they
Like
there
it
was
was just
enough
snowy
area.
mountains.
The gameplay was extremely repetitive,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed like their only real idea to solve a lot of the like launch issues that they had was, what if we just give you gems that make everything explode, so there's more animations on the screen, so it makes you feel more powerful.
I
And
mean,
that was
I'm not gonna lie. Using at least on the last season, using a rogue, I loved it. Just to dash in, dash out, hit him with the twisted blades, and then everybody just gets messed up.
I
And
mean,
I'm
don't
like,
get me wrong. I had a lot of fun with Tempest builds as a druid too, but
mhm.
I also recognize that they really just gave me something that blows up and makes the screen look cooler for a second.
So I played a barbarian build, which should be able to smash trash mobs super quick. It took way too long. I had shades of playing World of Warcraft all over again, just running through a forest smacking rabbits for 3 hours to level up.
That's
Like
because
it
you had
sucked.
the wrong build.
I didn't have the wrong
Yeah,
build though. That's the problem.
In season one, barbarians they were able to explode giant mobs and bosses faster than pretty much any other class.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
That's you clearly weren't looking. It was the top build for barbarians
yeah.
the whole time.
What
Like I was a new. I mean, against the Diablo series, I'm a newbie. I literally just looked up. I was like necromancer builds, and then the next season I was like rogue builds, sorcerer builds. Oh, okay, cool. That's it.
Hmm.
Then I go out there and just find the stuff out there. That's it. So I mean, I like Diablo. I like the cinematics of it, and as well as some of the as far as the graphics and stuff like that. I like how going into the dungeon. I mean, I understand we say it's a repeat, but at least the dungeon it changes from time to time, so that's a little bit better than just like again if I compare to Destiny, where it's just the same lost sector you're going into.
Yep.
It's just a master legendary, and it's like, oh, let me just get in, get out real quick, and get my stuff if I can. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about right.
Which Destiny is gonna. I haven't watched the full thing, but Destiny now we're getting new stuff now. We're no longer gonna get sparrows. We're gonna get Silver Surfer. Uh,
Thought they were done with
freaking.
Destiny.
Yeah, right. Well,
First of all,
Sony just laid off more people, so who knows? They might have been on the chopping block. Like a bunch of companies just cut a bunch of more people out of them.
yeah, I think who was it? EA just cut off. I think
EA did a lot.
647.
I think Act was it? No. One of the big publishers just did another round of cutting Because I think
Yeah.
they closed down like 2 studios. It might have been Sony closed down 2 studios.
So I mean, so right now for his Destiny, where the latest videos I've seen is one, the final shape, which is supposed to be the quote unquote conclusion,
Mhm.
which I'm gonna buy anyways because I got to finish out the story. That's not happening for a couple of months. So the latest event that's coming up is called Guardian Games. So basically, it's just a competition between the classes. So all 3 of us, I'm a hunter. Let's say hunter's a titan and you're a warlock.
Mhm.
Basically, you do different games. You earn certain medals. As a community, you unlock certain things for your classes. As you go, you get gear. In this case, one of the things is now they changed it up, and I don't know if this that was planned or they're trying to gain people to come back. Is your travel vehicle, which you call the Sparrow? Now it's it looks like it's basically just a surfboard similar to what the new beings that you meet on Neo Moon, giant cybernetic, like it's like if you took Silver Surfer and you just Silverhawks. That's basically what I can say. If you ever saw Silverhawks, they're all shiny, like half human,
Dude,
half stuff like that.
Silverhawks. That show was so cool back in the day.
Yes, it is.
Wasn't that based off an Image comic?
I believe so. Yeah.
Man,
I don't know.
you know
All
what?
I
That's
know
what
is
I
that it
kind of
has
miss. I
similarities
miss
to Thundercats. That's the main
Wait,
thing I
no.
can
Are
say.
you thinking of Darkhawk?
shit. Maybe. What was the one?
I never heard of Darkhawk.
Was it Darkhawk?
I think that's what you're thinking of.
Silverhawks is basically just
No, no,
same
not
concept as
Darkhawk.
Thundercats, but they're in space mostly.
Although Darkhawk is pretty cool.
Okay.
Oh my
So yeah,
god.
that's what
It's not
that's what they're
Silverhawks I'm
doing.
thinking of. Who the hell am I thinking of? Nighthawk, maybe? So many Hawk superheroes.
Mhm. So yeah, that's what's happening on Destiny. I mean, a lot of what Bungie is doing is trying to get people back because right now the pre-sales for Final Shape is low. I mean, I haven't bought it yet. It's not on my wish list, and I mean, truthfully, I got conventions coming up. Not to mention possibly some more pops. So we have to see.
Shadowhawk.
We're
Shadowhawk.
proud of you, but we've also moved on.
I know, but I just had to say it. Shadowhawk. He was an
Okay.
awesome superhero from Image Comics.
That's adorable. So, what conventions are you going to?
The 2 conventions I'm going to is going to be Awesome Con in DC, which I'm kind of excited for. And you can give me your opinion on. And Farhead, I mean, I don't know if you ever mentioned that you collect anything. So Christian Hayden is going to be there, the guy who played Anakin Skywalker, also Vader. Rosario Dawson's going to be there. Tony Todd, who voiced Venom, Candyman. I mean, the list of everything he's done for his acting, voice acting is out there. Tom Welling plays Clark Kent. Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor on Smallville, is going to be there.
He was in Sorority Girls.
Yes, and he was in that one where was it Jimmy Kennedy? He fell. He was a breakdancer. He fell, lost. He comes back after so many years, and now they're having a dance thing. But so that's Awesome Con. There's more people coming to going to go to that one, and then Galaxy Con is in Richmond, and I'll be going to that too as well.
Nice.
And that has a bunch of people that are going to be there from Star Wars universe, got a Psych, rappers is going to be what's that dude's name? I forgot his name.
Was he ever in a movie?
He probably was. Logic. That's what I was going to say. Lyric. His name is Logic. So Logic's going to be there.
Ooh.
Carl Weathers was scheduled, but unfortunately he passed away. Who else? I think it's Giancarlo Espirito. He's the guy who played. I didn't watch Breaking Bad, so nobody kill me. But he's the guy who he ran the chicken spot, the chicken restaurant, and then he got
His
blown
name is
up.
Gus.
Yep, Gus.
Yeah, so he's gonna be there too as well. He's gonna be there at GalaxyCon.
Is he still yoked up? Have you seen that meme?
Nah.
Oh my god, just looked up Muscle Gus. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I was gonna look at it later, but So yeah, that's the two cons I'm going to, and then I was told by my financial advisor that I am put on hiatus. So at the very least, I might go to Baltimore Comic Con,
Nice.
hopefully.
I
Somebody
as
used
much
to
as
go
I
with me,
love
but
going to the Baltimore Comic Con, I think I'm going to skip it because I any reason
we're
not to
talking
go to
about you skip it
Baltimore.
every Hunter, look, let me tell you about your brother, right? All right. So he's an enabler. He'll
I am.
he'll he'll psych you up and poke you and go, "Hey, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this." And I'm like, "Fine. I will go." We go. Have an awesome time and everything. And then out of nowhere it goes, "Yeah, I'm not going to make it." Like, "Hold on. We thought you said you're going to go." Like, "Yeah, but, and then enter any reason in the world why he can't go. And then right now he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna skip this year, buddy. You've been skipping every year since before COVID. What are you
In
talking
my
about?"
Yeah, no,
defense,
this dumb bitch has done it all his
in
life.
my defense, we had 3 solid years, Rico. 3 years going together.
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
Let me
The
see.
first year was just you and I. The second year was uh Brutus,
Eli,
you
my
and I,
daughter.
and your daughter. And then the third year was with Eli and his ex-girlfriend.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, because we carpooled.
3 years in a row. I remember because every year I talked to Justin Jordan and got him to sign all my comics. And Weapon Brown. Don't forget Weapon
Mm-hmm.
Brown. That dude was
So
amazing.
then, so why not now? Why not go this year?
Cause I don't like Baltimore.
Oh,
It's
all you do is
annoying to
park at the
drive
park.
through.
He watched too much of The Wire.
That is not the reason.
You ain't got no good reason. Like me, I took my. That's the thing about
No,
it. I took my
I
wife.
have a great reason. I'm lazy as fuck.
Oh my god, dude, get out the house, man. I'm trying.
But yeah,
Trust
you
me.
asked me earlier if I'm into collectibles. I had to go run and grab my crown jewel of the collection. It's Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I love that
I'm
it's a
trying to get it
point
with them.
five.
Yeah, at first I thought
Like,
it
I
was
can't
I thought it
afford
was the
anything
one
else.
number one.
There you go.
Is it?
Gotcha.
It's
No.
issue 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first appearance of the Vulture.
How much did that cost you?
Dude, I got it years ago, like pre-pandemic.
Uh huh.
I talked him down to just under $200 for it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Did
but
you
he made
get
a
it graded
mistake.
or did he grade it?
It was already graded when I bought it.
What's it worth now?
A lot more than $200.
Oh my god.
So with that, Hunter, and I want to get you guys' take on this,
Mhm.
right? So usually when I go to comic conventions and pass, you know, by myself now,
Your buddy.
I started collecting pops. But one thing I noticed between um collecting collectibles, autographs this year, I'm trying to do, as well as pictures. Am I a cheapskate? 'Cause some of these prices do not
No,
make no
no,
sense to
dude,
me.
you were not wrong. That's actually the reason why I didn't even want to go to Awesome Con or any other cons the past couple of years.
Mhm.
The prices have skyrocketed.
Like the one thing I noticed, and again, I wonder if it's like I was watching a video earlier, and somebody was mad about J Lo. Like J Lo's doing a tour,
Mhm.
and somebody cited that she's selling the ticket event is $450,
Mhm.
and then somebody came to her defense and goes, "That's not her setting the ticket sales. That's the promoter. The promoter
Oh,
is the one who pays for the stuff
oh, dude,
and do that."
it gets
So
even worse. I was thinking about taking Lehan to
mm,
WrestleMania this year because it's up in Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania, so it's
mhm.
not that far. I was
Yeah,
looking at ticket prices just for one ticket because you got to do it as a 2-day event. It was going to cost $3,500,
that's
and
about
those
right.
were nosebleeds.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
good
I
on
said.
that
I was
part.
like, well, I guess I'll find a local promotion to take him to then. Like, fuck that.
I mean, just take him to Raw when it's coming through town.
I looked. It's not coming through town. It doesn't come
Yeah.
through Virginia apparently.
hmm And
Like there
now
are
with
no
the
shows this year, except for like
Huh,
indie promotions.
weird.
And that's the problem with an
but
indie promotion is you don't know
mm,
what you're gonna see. Like if it's gonna be one of those shitty ones where it's like, oh, it's all hardcore matches and no useful people.
right. But yeah, that's the one thing about the cons, because I mean, even going over the prices, like again, nothing against Carl Weathers, but he was the first one if you want him to, I think it was if you wanted to sign a pop, it was $300.
Oof.
And I was like $300. And then when she was going over the list with like, I think it was pictures with Christian Hayden, it was like close to 200 or over $200.
Oh my god.
Signing up and then signing autographing again depends on what you're trying to do. So a regular
Yeah.
8x10 was under 100. But again, if I want a pop signed, it was at least 250. And so then I'm like thinking to myself, like, I was all excited, like, man, they're gonna be there. I can take pictures, post them, get a little, just play with certain people. Like, hey, I saw your favorite actor, even though I like him, or whatever. But super hardcore fans. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, why does it cost so much? I mean, they have combos where, again, if you get, depending on the show or the movie, if you have multiple cast members come, it's a little bit cheaper. I'm here to tell you, it's not that. I mean, still in the the close to 300, or if not over 300.
And see, that's the
But
thing that
then
I
I see,
get. Like when we went to Comic-Con last, right?
yeah,
Out of all the people I went to go get autographs from, and even like some of the weird ones, like Garth Ennis wasn't charging, but John Osterman was. So it was like, what the hell is going on? And that was like right before. That was like the last one I went to before the pandemic. And now it's like every single person who comes, you got to pay to get an autograph with them. I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
but even with that, I think again, I'm wondering, is it a promotion thing or?
And see, I wonder, are they getting any cut of that? Because they're not getting like, if they are, they're not getting anywhere near
The promotion
half.
doesn't. No. So the promotion pays the individuals to show up and to have a booth there. So they get that appearance fee, and then they get to charge extra on top of that to just keep raking in the money.
Yeah,
So I guess it just depends. In that case, I guess it just depends on the person. Because when I got John, I don't know if you guys know who John Leguizamo is.
Oh yeah, grew up watching.
And I'm not trying
John
to be funny with
Leguizamo.
that. I mean, I know he's been in Spawn, but I don't know if you know his other movies. So
We
when I
grew up
took a
watching
picture
The
with
Pest.
him, huh?
We've seen The Pest more times than we should probably care to admit.
See, you're honorary Puerto Ricans right there. Yeah, Pest is an awesome movie. But yeah, so even with him, I mean, I bought his book, and it only cost me $40, and I'm like, yo, that's a great deal. He took a selfie, then we got professional pictures with him, and so that's why I was thinking to myself, like, okay, maybe it's just the person, because again, I'm gonna use nothing against. Well, I'm not trying to pit celebs versus celebs, but like Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, their prices for pictures, even with autographs, it's still under. If you choose one person, it's still under $100.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, $80 for a autograph, no matter what it is, or at least a picture. Okay, that's reasonable. And so that's the one thing I wanted to get from you guys is like, is it a hard stop for certain people, or is it worth it? Because I think we talked about this when we didn't record the thing, but we talked
non-live
about
podcast,
offline podcast. Was Frank Miller? I
Yeah.
think Frank Miller, when he showed up at Baltimore Comic-Con, was like $300. And to me, I was like,
Yeah.
God, that's a lot of money. But then I thought about it like,
see, here's the problem with it, and I can understand why they're charging. Especially like let's use Billy D. Williams, since he passed away. Anybody who has an autograph from him, if they were to sell it, they would rake in stupid money.
hold on, Billy D is still alive.
Oh God, am I?
Do you mean Carl Weathers?
Carl Weathers. Yeah, what is wrong with me today? Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers passed away, right? Like,
we all know the connection he made, and we're not allowed to say it out loud.
that is not what I meant. Oh, fuck off. Anyway, Carl Weathers passed away. So if you have a signature, fuck off. If you have a sign, like something autographed by him, now you can turn around and go sell it on eBay for stupid amounts of money. I can understand this from the actor's point of view. It's like, look, I know exactly what they're going to do. They're most likely going to get my autographed picture and then go sell it. So, might as well get some of that funding anyway. And I can respect the hustle. I just, as a fan, I think that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, again, I discussed that with my wife about that, and I'm like, oh man, it may sound bad, but part of me was like, I could understand William Shatner, because William Shatner is going to be at GalaxyCon.
Yeah.
And so his price has always been up there. Like, if you want a picture, you want an autograph, He's like Ray Liotta, you know, F you, pay me. But then when I saw some other people, and I'm like, hold on, you, again, me thinking to myself, like, you've, at least for what I know, and it's like, you've only been in a couple of movies or shows or whatever. Like, how the hell you're charging this amount for an autograph or even a picture? Like I don't know. I get it. Maybe you know, people are gonna flip it for money, but then I'm like, like me. I'm thinking to myself, like, look, I'm just a comic collector, average Joe. I'm just collecting just to collect. If I can get a signature, I get a signature. But the fact that you have to pay that much, it's like I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely gonna try to get a picture with Tom Welling and get an autograph thing with Michael Rosenbaum because I like Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if they go, hey, why'd you take a picture? Like, I love you guys in the show. And then jokingly, I'll be like, but you're the cheapest people here. The cheapest. I mean, it's honest. Like, dude, like I like you guys, but you know, with other things going on, and I know people are gonna say, well, save up, you know, get another job. Like, dude, my job pays pretty good, but I still doesn't want to.
No. First off, anybody ever tells you, "Oh, you want to go? You can't pay for it. Get another job." Yeah, fuck them. That's such a like piece of shit thing
But
to
you know,
say.
there's gonna be somebody who watches this and they're gonna be like, well, you can get another job, or you can say, like, dude, we always
You
budget
can
and
suck a
save up.
bag of dicks.
I just don't see. I just again for me, I don't see dropping possibly close to $1,000
Yeah,
on one or two people just for a photograph and a thing.
yeah, no.
Especially if I give you a pop and it's not a chase.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it's not a chase. It's not glow in the dark. It's not a diamond block. It's just a regular common pop that I want you to sign or whatever. It's like hell. Even who's the dude? Brian Signer. I messed up his name.
Singer?
But with Saga, Singer, yeah, he did.
He's the director for the X-Men movies.
He did Saga.
Yeah.
If you know what that one is. Like
Wait,
even for him, that
Brian,
he did.
you're
Saga.
talking about the director. He did Saga?
No, not him. My bad. I don't even know where Saga's at. Where I can't tell you who it is.
Oh, okay, but the guy who wrote Saga.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I got him to sign it, and again, it wasn't. I mean, other than waiting in line, I really don't think he charged. I don't think he charged.
Dude, Justin Jordan never charged. That man signed like 12 books of mine.
Yeah, I don't think he charged. The only thing it was is if you want a certified, you
Yeah.
had the collectors that were there. If you want to, hey, do you want a certified or whatever? At that time, I was like, nah, because in my head, I was like, man, I already spent like over $200, not just on myself, but we brought our kids. So the kids wanted something, and my wife wanted something. I'm like, dude, initially it was like my budget was going to be on this one, but I don't know. What did you guys take? I know I've been on a rant a little bit.
So
And
my
I'm
take
cheap.
is if you want people to come up and take photos with you, great. Like probably don't charge that, or if you do, charge 10, $15.
Yeah.
If somebody wants your autograph, fuck yeah, charge them out the ass for it because they are more likely than not trying to get you to sign something so they can sell it.
Yep.
But the photo is more personal. It's you and that individual, and nobody wants to pay for that. So yeah, they're probably gonna social media flex at it or something, but who cares?
Yeah,
At
what's
least
that
it's a
gonna do
true
except for
fan
just boost
wanting
you?
to interact with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't see the purpose in charging for photos.
I mean, honestly, for photos, I see that as free publicity.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. I'm kind of same thing with Hunter here. Is like, yeah, no, that's stupid.
Yeah, but also I'm fortunate that every Comic-Con that we have or convention here locally or out in Wichita, which are really the only ones I ever go to, we don't really have anybody that charges for those events, and it's really nice.
That's fair. I mean, we even have big names down in Baltimore that didn't charge. Like Bendis didn't charge. I don't think
That's
Lee
'cause
charged
Bendis
either.
is a G.
No, when I went with you
I know
too,
for a
I
fact
think.
Ennis didn't charge because he had me wait while he ate his pizza.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You were talking about that earlier.
Garth Ennis is the coolest motherfucker alive. I swear to God.
And I think it's Greg Pak.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read the novel. The one who was behind World War Hawk and stuff.
Mm.
He was the main writer, whatever. Like I got at least 5 books, and it only cost. And I say this just to be funny. All it cost me was a conversation with the guy.
Yeah.
That was it. I didn't have to. I don't remember if he did charge. I think it was maybe $10. I don't even think I spend more than that on autographs. And again, having a nice 5-minute to 10-minute conversation about how I love his take on the Hulk. That he wasn't just a dumb brute. Like this dude was methodical. Um, like the best fight I think the Hulk had was when he went against the X-Men. All because he wanted to see what Professor X's position would have been if he took the vote to exile him. And I'm like, for him to just decimate the X-Men the way he did, I was like, dude, this is a great story. But again, I think it was less than 10, I think it was $10, maybe less than, maybe the most $20 for I think maybe 6 books to be signed. Between the 2 times we went to Baltimore Comic-Con, that was it.
Dude, when the guy who did remember the dude who wrote Weapon Brown?
Yeah.
He gave us the books for free because we sat and chatted with him for like half an hour.
Son of a bitch. Is that the one where Eli?
Oh yeah, that was the one with Eli. I think it might have been Eli and I were sitting there and talking to him for like a half hour, and he gave us the books and signed them. Dude was super cool.
Next time I need you to text me when I have. Well, no, that means next time you have to come out. When we do that.
Oh yeah, no, I made out like a bandit at Comic-Con. I think it's because of my boyish charm.
This sumbitch. We were planning to go to Dallas a couple of years ago to go see the new Clerks movie in person with Kevin Smith, sit in the balcony and everything, to go watch the film with him and do the Q&A and everything afterwards. And like, I think it was like 3 weeks before the event, maybe a month. Like,
oh,
hey,
sorry, dog, I can't make it.
I can't make it. I didn't buy the plane tickets. I don't know what to tell you, man. Sorry. Maybe next time. And so I was just left holding the bag on his $250 VIP experience ticket to meet Kevin and like get the script and get some photos with him and everything else. Watch the movie. Nah, fuck this guy. I'm not salty about it at all.
In my defense, we were in the middle of doing IVF at the time, so it was very hard for me to leave.
So why make the plans then?
It was a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
Which
so needless
one?
to say,
Kevin.
The Kevin Smith one was a bit of a spur of the moment.
Yeah, so needless to say, there's a video on my YouTube channel where Kevin Smith is asking Nico, where the fuck you at? Why aren't you here? And he just talks shit at him for like a solid minute straight.
That's great.
Wow.
We had this conversation, I think, back in like the first or second podcast, because I had to apologize. We were talking about Dogma, and I was shitting on him for his action scenes.
Yeah. There's no wrong about, but whatever.
Well, hey, speaking of Dogma, I found out that the reason why they don't do a sequel is because Weinstein owns it.
Really?
Personally owns it. Yeah.
Oh.
Search it on YouTube. Somebody brought that up in a Q&A, and he explained it for like almost 10 minutes. How everything was broken down, like, you know, who owns this as far as Universal, who owns this movie as far as...
oh, yeah, because didn't Weinstein own Dimensions?
Yeah, but when he did Dogma, though, Weinstein paid it out of his own money.
Oh,
from what I understood.
Snap.
So it's not even the studios. And then every time, you know, he got brought up, he doesn't want to sell. And then I think the last thing he said was Weinstein wanted to be a silent partner. And he's like, no, if we buy Dogma, because he said he may have roped in Ben Affleck because he didn't want it, like, they kept on offering him, like, I think he said he went from $500,000 to damn near $5 million to buy the rights. And he roped in, I think, Ben Affleck and probably a couple other people to buy it so they can do it. And he still want to sell it unless he's a part of it. Or the last time was to be a silent partner.
Well, I mean, he should have done that because then Weinstein got thrown in jail for being a diddler.
I don't know. That's what I was saying. Isn't he busy, like, you know, being in jail and shit? Like, why is he even being negotiated with?
Yeah, right. Well, I think at the time he probably wasn't. And I remember all that shit was kind of like, it was an open secret in Hollywood. It wasn't until somebody decided to actually say something that it finally went down.
Yeah, but I mean, when I did meet Kevin Smith, he did say one of his next projects was going to be Mallrats 2. So I am still excited about that.
Mallrats 2 would be dope.
It's going to be absolutely atrocious, but it's going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah. I still haven't watched the Clerks movie.
You should. It'll make you cry.
Oh,
I haven't even watched Clerks 1.
Oh, wow.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
That movie is in the Library of Congress.
That is a movie that defined our childhood. and it really shouldn't
It
have.
Right
defined
there.
a generation.
Your childhood. You didn't even know what Silverhawks was. You thought I was talking about Shadowhawks. Get your birds right.
Yo, man, but
Right?
Shadowhawk fucks. That dude is awesome.
Mm. Nah, when it comes to Kevin Smith movies, I mean, like Dogma and Mallrats, I forgot how I ran across Dogma and I bought that one. And then I love the chemistry between everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you had Carlin in it. Carlin's what like game when it comes to comedians is
Well,
like
Carlin is in like almost every single Kevin Smith movie.
yeah. Actually, I think I saw. How did I run into? I think Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. I think that was the first movie with Kevin Smith and them in it. And then from there, that's how I watched Dogma.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot. Maybe I had when I was in the military, I had a roommate that had Mallrats because I know I got the DVD somewhere. And then Mallrats again was good.
Dude,
Plus,
you're not a real fan of Mallrats unless you owned the VHS copy, okay? And you watched it so many times that the picture got too grainy to actually view.
Sure, but only at the fortune teller scene. But
Oh,
are you
oh my
telling me
God.
that you haven't seen Chasing Amy?
I believe.
In all fairness, though,
I may have
Chasing
seen
Amy's
it
not his
once.
best movie.
I
It's a
might
good
have
No,
seen it
movie.
Chasing
once.
Amy
Best.
is his most adorable fucking movie, and I will go to the grave with that
Nah, dude,
because
Jersey
no,
Girl.
no,
Jersey
no.
Girl.
Here, this is the reason why
I didn't
because
see
it's
Jersey
fucking
Girl.
beautiful why he made this movie. So his brother is gay, but for the longest time did not feel comfortable telling it to Kevin. He actually found out from his mom, and so when his brother was driving Kevin to go to college for his film degree, he finally brought up and talked to him. And his brother said, I love what you're doing. I'm glad you found your passion in this world. But Hollywood, unfortunately, there are no movies that are for me. And so they got into that, the lack of representation for gay people in movies and everything else. And so Kevin took that and thought, okay, I'm going to make a movie that's going to be for my brother. It's something that he can love and he can appreciate. And so Chase Amy was made for his brother. That movie is adorable.
I get that, but that's all. It's funny that you say that when, especially with that one line about what a lesbian needs.
Look, I'm not saying it's a perfect movie, okay? Just the sentiment behind it.
I
thought about that. Like Chasing Amy was about the girl that was a lesbian. The guy's trying to. If you made it for his brother, why wouldn't you make the guy gay?
Because it's for representation, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't care.
Hey man, lesbian representation is still gay representation, especially in the '90s when that was not happening at all.
Dude, the woke meter is just off the chain with you tonight. It's adorable. It's so
what do
much
you
fun to
mean?
see it.
What do you mean?
You talk about representation and how it doesn't have to be a man. It can
Oh,
be
God,
it can be a
no.
lesbian too. You're just
Damn it,
the evolution you're having throughout the course of this podcast. By next week, I don't even know who you're going to be. You're going to be a whole new person.
Don't worry, I'm definitely gonna say
He's gonna
retard
come, he's
again
gonna
before
dye
the
his
end of this
hair.
podcast.
It'll be like multicolored hair coming just. Yeah, I think Chasing Amy. I think I saw it once, and that's it. I mean, Mallrats. I saw that. Good 10 times. Dogma. I just saw it a couple of weeks ago again. Jay and Silent Bob. I watched it again, but I have to watch that one at night because it's too much.
Dude, so we had watched Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back so many times we could recite the entire movie scene for scene.
Yeah, it's true.
And for Mallrats, the fortune teller lives rent free in my head forever.
So
Rightfully
my question
so.
is to you guys:
What was that?
who's Kevin? So, Jay, Silent Bob, and Jay.
Silent Bob is Kevin Smith.
I know that, but between you and your brother, who's Silent Bob? Who's Jay?
Well, I know his answer.
Okay, so I'm kind of an idiot. I'm Jay. He's Silent Bob.
See, I thought that was going to be backwards, but you're not wrong. Like that is true.
Yeah. So Hunter is the quiet, relaxed, will hit you with that logic bomb. I'm the up in your face, mouthy cunt.
And none of it makes any sense, nor is it correct. But he thinks if he's loud, he can win the argument.
Bingo. Yeah.
Okay, but enough beating around the bush. The Iron Claw. Who's starting? Okay, cool. I'll do it. So, seriously, how the fuck is this movie not nominated for any awards at all?
Wasn't it a summertime release? Wasn't it a summertime release?
No, I believe it was a fall release.
Okay, but it was still,
It
it was within the window to get
Yeah.
into.
Oh, for sure.
I don't get it.
Absolutely.
I don't get
Neither do I.
it.
It
Did
was
A1
absolutely
have
amazing.
anything else in the running for best movie of the
Uh,
year or anything like that?
A A21,
Or
I don't
A21?
believe, or A yeah, the
Then
A24, whatever
how
the studios. I don't believe that
how?
anything they put came into nominations this year. But I don't understand. So Jeremy Allen White, Best Supporting Actor,
Mm-hmm.
1000% could have seen it. I
Mm-hmm.
also could have seen it for Holt and his portrayal of Fitz, because oh my God, that was awful and amazing. Would have loved
Yeah.
it. Zac Efron could have definitely got the nod for Best Actor,
Mm-hmm.
Best Movie, Screenplay. There's so many categories you could have just given it one nomination for, because it clearly
It
deserved
deserved at
it, but
least a
they just skipped over
nomination for
all
fuck's
of it.
sakes.
But
Mm.
oh my goodness, I was not expecting the story to be so freaking good. Um, the I knew that it was going to be a really fun ride
Mm-hmm.
when you're sitting at the table with the brothers and Holt, Fritz, where he's like, "Now all y'all know Carrie's my favorite, and then you, and then you, and then you, and then your brother. But that those rankings can change at any time, so do your best." I was like, "Oh, this is the type of film and mentality that
Mm-hmm.
kids today just will not understand." But like, I
Mhm.
felt it.
We'll see. The only so I love the movie. It was fantastic. There are some problems. I think the pacing's a little weird, like especially because they didn't age the actors at all through the
Mhm.
years. So it was kind of hard to kind of pinpoint what era we were in. The only thing that really, the key ones that stood out were when his kids were born and Carrie lost his leg,
Yeah.
and the rise of the WWF. Those were the only times where I was like, okay, I know the era they're in. But
But you
like a
didn't
lot of the
really
territory
need to
stuff,
know
it
the
was
area.
no, you needed to know the progression of the years. It just wasn't clear enough in my opinion. Um, but they
But did
did the
that?
territories justice. That's all I'm saying. Like the guy they got to play Ric Flair was Ric Flair to a fucking T. I love how
Really?
right after Kevin kind of finds himself. Fuck, there is Ric Flair walking through. He's like, man, that was one hell of a match. Now where can we go to get fucked up?
That's true. That was pretty cool. Uh, the one thing I was surprised about, so they skipped over their younger brother's death, which
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with because I don't really want to watch a little kid get electrocuted. So, we're
Well, no,
we're
no, they
saints in
mixed the
that.
two.
Um,
Or are you talking about the oldest brother?
yeah, the oldest
Oldest.
brother when he died when they were
Yes.
kids. And then the youngest son was just not in the movie at all. So
Well, the
they didn't
reason why
even
they did
mention him.
that, and so I was reading an interview with Kevin about this, and he was saying they wanted to mix those two brothers' stories together because it would have been way too much for them to have a fifth brother to die. So they were like, it it wouldn't have sat well with people. And in all fairness, it's understandable because like his entire family fucking dies. Like it's crazy.
Probably, but it's also really weird to have like a member of the family so involved or members of the
Hmm.
family so involved. And like, you know what? We're just gonna skip this sibling. They don't need to be mentioned here in this movie. I just thought it was really
Well,
funny.
no, no, no. The youngest wasn't because he died fairly young too. I
Yeah, but
thought.
the one they removed. The thing about it, the one they didn't mention or removed, they didn't even let him know that they took him out.
No, they didn't.
Oh fuck.
It wasn't. I mean,
That's
you
an
can
awkward
again.
conversation.
You would have to Google the article, but yeah, that was the whole controversy is that hey, this other person had died or whatever, but they didn't include him in and let him know until like the film was about to be released.
Oh,
So
that's
it did get
fucked.
released. The film did get released in December. So I know you said September, so I don't know if that was a factor. December 22nd
Oh,
is when it came out.
I mean, still more than enough time. It was at all the festivals. Everybody knew
mm,
how great it
Ooh,
was throughout the year.
forgive me, and I blame Farhat. November 8th is when it came to Dallas,
mm.
and then it was released in the United States. I guess December 22nd
Yeah.
is when
Okay,
it
then it
came.
might have been on. It might
But
have like hit the
no,
cutoff.
it's okay. No, as long as it's within the calendar year. They just
Oh.
chose not to nominate it.
Oh.
But like for real, the scene where Zac Efron where Kyle and David are in the bathroom while he's throwing up blood,
Oh
where he's
yeah.
going on it, he's getting ready to go on his Japanese tour. Like I didn't remember all of the details about the family and all the events and like when they happened. I was like, man, this is such a good scene. Like this is so cool. I wonder when, like, because he's definitely gonna die at some point. But like they're doing a really good job setting stuff. Like it's gonna suck when he finally goes. And then sure enough, within like 3 minutes, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, that was some timing.
Yep. And then his brother gets the title, immediately goes drunk joyriding and loses his leg.
Yeah,
Like,
goes for a
holy
ride.
shit, man. Like, that movie's fucking nuts. And the
Yeah, and
craziest thing is, like, apparently it's fairly close to the actual story, but there are a few things that were different. According to Kevin, Fritz was not as much of an antagonistic prick than he in real life. Like, they
so
made him more for drama.
what I read was that it was actually worse. That he was more physically abusive than just emotionally abusive
Oh.
as they portrayed him in the film.
Oh yeah, cause well, I don't know, cause that's not what I read with in Carrie's interview. But maybe he changed
Yeah,
his wording at some point.
possibly, but either way, it makes sense why they made him so emotionally abusive in
Mm-hmm.
the film because the whole notion of the film was these brothers love each other. They will do literally
Mm-hmm.
anything for each other. But because of the era and the time that they were in, they just had there was no chance they were going to talk to each other and work out the issues that they had that they clearly saw in each
Mm-hmm.
other throughout the entirety of the film in their lives. They know somebody needs to address this. At one point, um, Kevin goes in to talk to his mom right after
Mm-hmm.
before David's funeral. And he's like, "Hey, Dad needs to quit pushing Mike so hard. He needs to give him some space. He's not like the rest of us." And she's like, "It's between you brothers. You figure it out." And so anytime they did try to open up or they did try
Mm-hmm.
to be there for each other in a real meaningful way, they just were immediately shut down or they weren't comfortable, and it just led to the downfall throughout the
Mm-hmm.
entirety of the film. Like it and then it had that really emotional moment at the end where Zac Efron is just sitting in his lawn,
Yeah,
broken down, crying, and he's like, "I'm not a brother anymore." It's like, oh my
that's
god, I feel
fucked,
so
dude.
sad.
You know what made me cry big manly tears was when Carrie was going across the river, and he gets to the other side and meets his older brother.
Ooh,
Ah,
that scene should
that
not have
one
worked.
got me. It shouldn't have worked. It did me in.
Yeah,
Like
it
fuck,
was
even him carrying Terry away was another one where I was like, ooh, like that got me at first, and then when they did the pass on to the other side, I was like, nah, I'm done. Put a fork in
it
me.
was
I'm fucked.
it was the buildup. Like that
Mm-hmm.
was when you go on a roller coaster and you're on that really slow climb, you hear the clunk 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 as you're up. That was the emotional
Mm-hmm.
build for the lawn scene at the very
Oh
end where
yeah.
he's
Oh
crying.
yeah.
Like, but that afterlife scene should not. There's no way that that scene should have been in anything but like a low tier B movie
Mm-hmm.
Hallmark film. But they filmed it and it worked so
So
well.
that's what I want to say too. I don't know what the fuck A21 is doing because they turned
A24.
or A24.
You cannot get the number right.
Never will. Can't stop, won't stop. Hufflepuff for life. We ride together. We die together. Anyway, uh,
Really
no,
unnecessary.
whatever. That's how I roll. How did they make
In a
what
wheelchair?
should have been? How did they make what should have been a Hallmark movie? Because it's shot like a Hallmark movie and it has the
Hmm.
same cues and everything, and turn it into a like beautiful chaos.
It
I
is
don't
it
get
is
it.
Jeremy Allen White's face. Like
That
for
has to
real,
be it.
Jeremy Allen White's face and Zac Efron's face, like their expressions throughout the entire film was some of the best acting that you're
Oh,
gonna see
oh
it
yeah,
forever.
oh
Like
yeah.
they carried scenes so incredibly well. It was so cool to see.
Dude, and the wrestling when they actually showed it on there, like it looked really good, even to the point where their intentional botches looked like legitimate botches. I don't know how the fuck they did it. Like it was
Eddie,
crazy.
that was Eddie Guerrero. You can thank him.
Eddie
Uh,
Guerrero's dead.
I don't think
Not
we're
Eddie
talking
Guerrero.
about the same
God,
Guerrero.
forget
His cousin.
his brother.
Huvitude or Juventude?
No,
Uh,
Bravo. Chavo
Cha-
Guerrero.
Chavez?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he works
Whatever.
with
I know Eddie Guerrero,
Hollywood
but
stars.
Ah,
he's
got it.
one that was behind all the wrestling scenes and everything else like that. So his
Okay.
philosophy,
Because those were
what he was
really,
saying
really
is that.
good.
So what he was saying on that one is that they already had an athletic. They had an athletic prowess. It was just more or less of just fine tuning it. And if anything, he was saying like, if they're gonna hit somebody, I'd rather than them hit me. So that's why when they were going through all the motion, they went fully with him first before they even went with each other on that part
Oh,
or
wow.
anybody else that was the wrestling stuff. So I mean, when I saw him, I was like, oh, okay. So it gave it more. It gave it more credit to the movie, even though I haven't watched it yet. But
Dude,
I
the
was like,
scene
oh,
where Zac
You-
Efron is like kind of like running back and forth on in the ring. I think it was after was it after David died? Where
Uh,
he's like he's in the ring and
Man,
like
now I don't want to say anymore because I just realized he hasn't watched the stupid movie yet.
who?
it's okay. I'm gonna watch. Trust me,
Okay, good.
I'm gonna watch it.
Like when he's
That was
running the ropes and like that was such a good scene.
I won't.
Like
I
the
won't
shot
cry
that
like
was
Nico, but I'll
um,
watch it.
I think that was on the lead up to or is the aftermath of Carrie losing his leg because
maybe
he was
because
going
it
through
was
all the
right
emotional
before the
turmoil.
it was before the Ric Flair fight. I know that.
Yeah.
Or no, not Ric Flair. The fat guy with the fro. What's his name? I can't
Dusty
No,
remember.
it was
Rhodes?
after that for sure.
Dusty Rhodes.
No, not Dusty Rhodes wasn't in the movie. It was another dude who
Okay.
ended up he was the world heavyweight champion at the time
Yeah.
before what's his face? It's not Arn Anderson. Is it Arn Anderson, isn't it?
I don't remember. That's way before my time.
Is
Fair.
either if it's not him, it might be Oil Anderson, his brother.
It could be. I'm pretty sure, or was it Duck Arse? No, it wasn't Ackland. It wasn't Bob Ackland.
Mm.
Anyway, keep
You
going
said
on
you
there.
said
I'm
a
gonna figure out who
fro.
it is.
It was a white guy. A white guy.
Yeah, white
Yeah.
guy, like biker beard and like really curly hair. He
You
was the
said
world
biker
champion
beard?
for a while.
It might be Billy. It's in my head. It might be superstar Billy
No.
Graham. No.
Maybe
He'll figure it out.
the guy that got to play
Um,
Bruiser Brody was also really good. Harley Race. That's who I was thinking of.
There it is. Yep.
Holy race.
Yeah, he was the world
I gotta
champion
see
for
his
like
face.
quite a while. I think he was like second to Bob Ackland for like.
Yeah, but
holding the
remind
belt.
me the wrestling again that this time is not WWF.
No, this is the territory. So this is during the WWCW era
hmm
and the NWA.
3 C's.
That's it. The
In the
three
middle.
C's. Mm-hmm.
okay.
But yeah, highly recommend you watch. It's a fantastic movie.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing I'll say is I'm really glad that the casting worked out the way that it did because I think Jeremy Allen White does an absolutely amazing job at Carrie and going through like the emotional and like substance abuse struggle before he ultimately kills himself. Like he did a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back on it, man, if they had swapped Jeremy and Zach, like oh man,
that
that
would
would
have
have
been
been so good.
That
But I
actually
don't
would have been a
know.
better way to do it.
It probably would have been, and with the amount of like power, like star power that Jeremy Allen White has now, they probably could have swapped it if this wasn't started like
Yeah.
pre-pandemic for production and like trying to get everything off the ground. But it still worked out well. But I also don't know if Jeremy Allen White could have held that final scene where he's crying on the lawn holding his
True,
kids.
but
That's the one
Jeremy
scene I'm
looks
like,
a
I don't know
lot
if you
more
do it.
like Kevin than he does Carrie. That's
Yeah.
that's the other thing too, because Carrie's still alive, and they do look really similar.
Carrie is not alive.
Or not Kevin, sorry.
There you go.
Man, that family had too many kids with K's in their name.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, you gotta watch Rico. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
freaking
super
good,
good.
and it's honestly like the dynamic between the parents and the kids. I'm telling you, you're gonna watch it and you're like, wow, like I feel this. Like this sucks. I don't
I
like
mean,
being reminded of this as an adult, having had kids and like intentionally like gone away from that style of child rearing and like favoritism and everything else. I'm like, no, this is not okay. There's a reason why we don't do this anymore. It doesn't make you feel
no,
good.
that's tough love. That creates tough men.
It's like I tell Lehan every day. It's like it's not that you're not my favorite anymore. It's the fact that he's a baby, and that one day I'm just going to treat you both the same.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, that's just like my kids when they say, "Hey, who's your favorite?" I'm like, I love and hate you guys all the same. There is no, hey, this one does that.
Who's your
And
favorite? I don't know. Who wasn't an asshole today?
yeah, pretty much. It all depends too, because I think at least with Sebastian, like him being the youngest, he seems like he's more into the stuff that I'm into. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla. Mentioning Godzilla, we already got plans. We're gonna watch Godzilla 2, right? Like,
Mm.
heck yeah, buddy, we're going. I don't care. Like, we're
It's
on
funny
it.
you say that because Rohan now runs around saying Godzilla and baby talk because of the lizard.
Hmm.
Good.
He has to go say night night to Godzilla every night.
Proud of that kid.
I mean, to your point, the way he sounded, yeah. I mean, there's some aspects I think of. I mean, this is what the 70. I'm assuming the game this is around the
Late
70s, the
60s.
80s,
It starts late 60s, early
late
70s. It goes
60s.
up to
So yeah,
about
from 60s to 80s.
84.
Yeah,
Or no,
you
no,
had
90. It goes up to like 92 or 93.
yeah. So far as them being kids and then growing to
Yeah, I
be
would
young
have had
adults.
to.
Yeah, because Carrie died, I think, in 90. I think it was 92.
Yeah. So I can see where yeah, there's certain things where you're like, yeah, I'm glad we don't do that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, the way it sounded, it almost sounds like there's an old movie that I watched a little bit called The Great. Was it Great Santini?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Um, which wasn't like it in our house, but I mean, yeah, there's times where like again, growing up in our household, as far as at that time being 80s and 90s, and where my parents grew up from, and where they came to the United States, yeah, there was that tough mentality that you had to be a certain, they wanted you to be a certain way because it was more or less of, hey, if I'm out the net, then I need you guys to step up on
Mm-hmm.
anything. But um,
And
so
even if you
I think
didn't
that
see
would
it,
probably be the only thing that'd be
your
relatable.
friends did. You got to like experience it through them. It's like you
Mhm.
got the gambit one way or the other. You got to see it all.
Yeah. Uh, hmm, okay.
Yeah. Solid movie, 10 on 10. Will
Yeah.
cry again.
Yeah. Felt so
Mm.
bad for Mike throughout the entire movie.
My God, right? All he wanted to be
Yeah.
was all he wanted to do was play guitar.
He just wanted to be a beautiful little magician and
Yep.
musician. I had a
No,
you
no.
moment.
And I'm the one. You had a Nico moment.
I think the guy who plays the father, though, I mean, he's been in a
He's been
bunch
in
of movies and
tons of shit.
shows.
Not lately, but like in the past, he's been in everything.
Yeah.
And he
So I
does
think
such
that
a great job at that
mhm.
character
Oh
too.
yeah.
Like that is the type of role that man was born to play.
Yes.
Just that old, scruffy, tough as nails.
Yep.
Like, you do your chores yet?
Eats
No, Paul, I
nails
want to
and
do my
shits
chores.
iron.
Hmm.
Okay, I gotta ask. Have you guys seen The Beekeeper yet? Or do you even
No.
No.
know anything about it?
I
Yeah.
know that Jason Statham is in it. That's about
Oh,
it.
that's
Hmm.
all you need to know, and it's all the reason you need to watch it because it's freaking amazing.
All
So the
right.
entire movie is predicated on two concepts. One, the companies that call and scam you and try to get money from little old ladies, they are in the U.S. And they are run by uh, rich frat bros. Uh, and they use that money to fund their mother's political campaigns, which we can come back to in about a minute. And so this woman is caught up in one of these scams, loses all of her money and all of the charity that she runs, all of that foundation's funds as well. She kills herself, and it just so happens to be that one of her tenants is Jason Statham, and he was bringing her honey from his beehive, and he discovered her dead. Wanted to figure out why she killed herself, discovered it's because of these companies, and then he makes it his mission to effectively seek and destroy everyone involved with this company that drove this woman to kill herself. However, it turns out he belongs to a secret, real clandestine organization that only ever has one active agent known as the Beekeeper, and their purpose is to protect the hive. And they work for the government. Only like the head of the CIA and the president knows of this clandestine group's existence. And he had retired, and so he came out of retirement. The woman's daughter works for the FBI, and she was assigned the case, and so she's trying to figure out, well, who's this beekeeper and this organization he used to work for, and what happened to her mom and everything else, which seems like a little bit of a conflict of interest, but whatever. And then towards the end of the film, you find out that PETA from the Hunger Games is running this whole organization, and he used all the funds that he made scamming people in order to pay for his mother's campaign to become the president of the United States. And so then Jason Statham has to the last third of the movie is Jason Statham trying to kill the first female president of the United States.
Oh
And
man.
highly recommend the film from top to bottom. It is pure asinine action and it is wonderful. Oh my
Nice.
God, I can't recommend it enough.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it
Which is
was.
crazy. Which is crazy because I think in real life, I think the guy they arrested in Florida for crypto, I think he was taking the money and making donations to either his mom or some political Democrat person. That has my interest in.
It's because he stole it from all the little old ladies. He deserved it. But at least he didn't have Jason Statham come after him.
This is true.
No,
This is true.
it was either him or Turk. I mean, you know what, Turk? He's afraid of the Germans. So,
Oh, did you guys
Tommy, I
hear
mean,
that
not Turk,
the
Tommy.
Switch 2 is being held off until probably March of next year?
What is what?
So the sequel to the Switch, the Nintendo Switch, is probably coming out sometime around March of next year. They're not doing a holiday release schedule.
So are we going to go from PS3 to PS4 technology in a handheld device?
So there
Or is that too
was
much of an upgrade to ask for?
no. So here's the thing: there was some backroom talkings, and I think it was somebody at Square leaked that they had the Final Fantasy VII remake running on it at 1080p 60 frames
It's
in
still
handheld.
1080p though.
Yeah, but in handheld mode.
You
So
have a Steam Deck behind you.
no, that's a Switch. I have an ROG Ally in my drawer
Okay.
though, but
Regardless.
it's pretty much that. So I'm interested into seeing what they do. My biggest thing is all I really want is more than 32 gigs internal storage. That was the dumbest move Nintendo ever made. The fact that we now live in an age where you can get a 2 terabyte mini SD card for $200 means that they have the technology to put that on a bigger chipset and just dump it onto the motherboard. So, if anything, at a minimum, I think 500 gigs. I think it should be more, especially when like Final Fantasy just dropped today, and like the second part of remake, and it's 148 fucking gigs. But when we're getting into the point, we're getting to a point where a 500 terabyte hard drive or a 500 gig hard drive is only going to get you maybe 4 games.
Or, and hear me out here, you could not spend hundreds of dollars on a console that's going to use 5+ year old hardware in order to play a game at 1080p. And instead, you can wait 6 months, download the emulator, and then you can buy the games in order to play them on your computer in a much smoother, more playable fashion with better graphics.
But how am I going to play Dark Souls on the shitter?
Nintendo just entered the trap.
You take the DDR pad that you had,
Yeah.
where you glued all the bananas to, and when you're sitting on your porcelain throne, you can just tap it with your feet the whole time,
Yeah, but how am I going
and
to
you
see
can
the
play it with.
screen when my screen is here and the bathroom is there?
Um, you can add some sticky tack to the back of the console and just tack it to the door.
Now listen, I
I've got
feel you.
solutions for everything
I'm gonna buy one regardless. It's
because
gonna
you're an idiot.
happen. Of course, you've known me for how many years? Of course, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I know. I just
But I'm
appreciate
going
being
to
able to
buy
point
it.
it out.
Oh, that's fair. But no, I like my Switch. I have 3 of them because I'm an idiot. Um, I will say this: out of
Where'd the
all
third come from?
Mom bought Lehan one. Then I bought another one that I wanted to use for the TV, and then at some point I was like, "Man, this thing's too heavy. Let me just, or it's like much of a pain in the ass to bring around. Let me just get a Switch Lite." So
So you
that's why I
can
have
save
3.
like 1 inch in total width.
Yeah, man, come on. No, it was the D-pad. I like the fact that I had a D-pad. Listen, I spend money stupidly. Don't judge
I'm
me.
aware.
But the
I
Switch,
have.
Yeah.
It's
my
never going to
regular
change.
Switch is mainly for my arcade cab back there, and that's the only reason why I keep it.
You use it in the arcade cabinet.
Oh yeah. I hook it up to this. I hook the dock up to the arcade cabinet and play Dragon Ball Fighters and Power Rangers on there all the time.
I mean, I guess that's a good reason for it, but you still shouldn't have three.
Yeah, but Leon has one, so.
I didn't say take his away, dumbass. Why is it the first place you go to?
Because I'm an asshole. But if anything, my second one only cost me like I think I've spent $70 on it because all I needed was the actual like tablet. So it wasn't like it broke the bank.
Still a dumb purchase.
No, it's not. Shut up.
Sony does not deserve people's money for new consoles until they can prove they can release a new console that actually provides value to the user other than the ecosystem of games that they want to put on this new batch of money printing machinery.
Are we talking Sony or Nintendo?
Nintendo, same thing.
Okay.
God,
Well,
I've been in this
Sony-
call too long with you. Now it's happening to me.
Exactly. That's my
It'll be
superpower.
all
I
over again.
bleed out stupidity, and everybody around me absorbs it. Um, so yeah, you guys want to talk about how Sony are the big dumb?
Because of Madam Web?
Oh yeah, that's one reason.
Have they done something else worse than that lately?
I'm trying to think. Not really. Although I do think that I think they've already called the PlayStation 5 over. They said that,
Yeah,
so
they
they're
did.
like working on the PS6 now. I'm like, dude, people just now in the past year and a half have been able to buy them.
That was all according to plan.
It has to been. It has to have been.
Well, the only
I mean,
thing I've seen is that the Pro is supposed to be coming out supposedly next year, I think.
It already supports 4K. What the hell is the Pro going to do?
8K.
I don't care.
That's because you're a boomer and your eyes don't let you see farther than your
bite
nose,
me.
even with glasses.
No, because the only way for me to go to play anything
Everything
in 4K
looks
is to go
8-bit to you.
upstairs, and all my gaming shit is down here.
So have you ever considered getting a decent TV down there?
No, because I don't watch TV down here.
But then you can play games in higher resolution
I
with where
would,
all of your
though.
gaming stuff exists.
Dude, okay, for me, 1080p is fine because I'm not sitting that far away from whatever I'm watching. So it's like it doesn't need to be 4K.
Again, I understand your eyesight means you see everything in 8-bit regardless, but your son would still appreciate being able to see things clearly.
Dude, he plays Minecraft on that shitty little 720p TV. He doesn't know any better.
No, but as soon as you let him play Minecraft in 4K, he will.
He did play Minecraft in VR, so he has been asking me a lot about that lately. In all fairness, if you haven't played Minecraft in VR, that shit is amazing.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like it'd be pretty fun.
Dude, the moment you see a shroomoo pop up, you're like, why is this big pixelated cow with mushrooms trying to eat me? Because they are big. Like, it's a big cow. But yeah, Minecraft in VR is really fun.
I haven't tried that. I have tried Skyrim in VR, and that is the only game that ever made me motion sick in VR.
So, I had that when I had the PlayStation VR. The biggest problem with Skyrim was there was no weight to anything, and when you couldn't poke. Like, how do you?
Yeah,
Like, my sword has a pointy bit. It can't poke. I could poke with a spear, but that's it.
yeah, but Blade and Sorcery lets you poke things, and
Yeah.
that game is just all kinds of fun.
There's a reason why I have about 300 hours in that. It's so stupidly fun.
You ever played it,
Me, no.
Rico? No?
Mm-mm.
You ever do VR?
No, I'm not into recreational drugs.
You're only into the hard stuff?
On the weekends, yes.
Dope. Dope. I can get behind that.
No, I
But
mean,
no.
as far as VR, no. I mean, I don't know if you guys know. Sometimes I'm a little bit cheap. I have a little budget I'm supposed to be on, so
Fair.
nah.
I would not have guessed based on the 400 pops that are in the room. I kind of have trouble believing this one.
Oh, that's over time. That's over time.
That's over
No.
time. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Lady Deadpools are new.
Oh, that's not those. Oh yeah, those are new. Actually, my son. That shout out to my son, but that's actually heavy metal Deadpool.
Oh, okay. Regardless,
there's
I
the-
just appreciated it. No, I'm on a budget. These are all old. Well, I see two new ones right there,
It,
right in
no, for
front
real,
that
it
you
is like.
position for the camera.
Cause I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna go get pops, and then now my wife's thing is that she likes to tag along, and I'm like, why do you want to tag along? I'm just going to the store. No, we can spend time together. And then as soon as we get somewhere, and I start looking, she's like, how much are you trying to spend? I'm like, hold on, let me.
Yeah, it's
It's
because
like,
you're about as untrustworthy as my wife at Target. I understand what she's
Yeah,
doing. I've done it many times myself.
she's babysitting a man child. That's what happens.
hey, look, the bills are paid. We have money saved up and invested. Most of my kids are gone; they're taken care of, or the ones that are out of the house. So it's like, okay, this is my thing. I don't say nothing else. Just like, let me have my This is the only thing I buy. I don't buy nothing else.
Let me drown in my little plastic men's.
Yeah, let me enjoy my childhood. I never got when I was a kid. Kind of one of those things.
So are these replacing your Beanie Babies?
They're replacing my GI Joes and my cooler from Cool in the Gang. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. The Pound Puppies.
Oh.
So you
Oh.
had like Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah.
They had the Pound. So I had the dog, the cooler.
Okay.
You
Kind
know,
of sound like John
Frieza was a
Travolta.
pretty chill villain, but his brother was cooler.
Oh, at least you got one in this time. That was trash. Oh my god. It was so bad. Hey, you might know this. So, volume 20 of Dragon Ball Super just came out. I was under the impression that there are only 4 more volumes left because Toriyama's ditching Super for Dai. Is he continuing on with Super?
Toriyama does not draw for Super.
No, but he writes it.
That's true. I have no idea, honestly. I have not kept up with the anime or with the manga past the end of the Granola arc because they went into superhero.
Granola arc?
Yeah, okay. So you're much farther behind than I
I
thought you
haven't
were.
even started Super. I have all the books now apparently upstairs, but I haven't
Okay.
started it.
So once you get past the tournament arc for
Mm.
what universes are going to be destroyed, then you go into the Broly movie, which is canon, and then after the Broly movie, you have the Moro arc, which
Mm.
is really cool. Basically, a space sorcerer,
Is
and
he
then
is he the pirate with the eye patch?
no,
Okay.
he was a space prisoner.
Okay.
And then when you got done with Moro, then you get to the Granola arc, which is really cool. And that's honestly my favorite arc from the series so far because they just lean into the absolute bullshit absurdity of power levels. And they're like, yeah, we don't even care. We know that this doesn't make sense. We're really going to lean into it.
Is that where
Uh,
they brought in Bardock?
yes.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's I think what they're on the manga right now.
Yeah, no. Then they wrapped that, and from there they went into Dragon Ball Super Superhero, which is the Gohan movie where he
Okay.
unlocks Beast Mode. And after that is the new arc. And so I didn't feel like reading week by week through that since I already knew everything that was going to happen.
Mhm.
So I figured I'd just let it go on for a while, and I can just catch up in
So
just
wait,
one
hold
big
on.
jump.
So it's anime first, manga second?
Ish.
Oh wow.
Really, what it has been is it's been movies first, and then they redo the movies in the manga and the show,
Oh weird.
and then they move on, and now it's manga first.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
but but yeah, the Battle of the Gods arc, which they started Super with, and then the Return of Frieza, those were two movies, and then they turned into manga and show,
Got it.
and
Okay.
which is weird because I don't know why they did the Broly movie as like a canonical event, but yet the other two were just standalone movies that they basically condensed the manga and the show from, which is cool because it works much better in a 2 hour movie for both of them
Mm.
than it does uh, really shitty Indonesian animation for the first
Yeah.
19 episodes of the series.
That's
That
why
was
I never
really hard to
started
get
it
through.
because it was so bad from what I heard.
Just get to episode 20 and you're golden.
Oh
Like the
god.
end of the Tournament of Power arc, like the very oh my god, it's
That's where the
so
budget
beautiful.
came.
The
It
the
came into
battle
play.
the battle between Jiren and Vegeta was like the sexiest artwork that Dragon Ball has seen since the battle between Majin, Vegeta, and Goku
Oh wow.
from the Buu arc. Like it's the best it's looked since then, and it's because it was the same artist.
Oh nice.
It's so
Okay.
pretty.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing I know about characters from Super is if they're playable in fighters.
Is Beast Mode Gohan in that?
I I don't know. Maybe. I would assume so.
I, if you don't know what Beast Mode Gohan is, then I'm gonna say it's probably not.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but it's basically he gets really buff and he gets really spiky silver hair and red eyes.
Ooh. No, 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 no. I think that is in there. That's a quick Google check.
And now we're quiet on an
Somebody else
audio
talk.
form of
Mm.
media.
Well, it depends because I don't think you want to go into my other topic.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, Beast Gohan
Never
is
mind.
in Dragon Ball Fighters.
Oh, cool.
I just don't main him.
You main Krillin, don't you?
What's my team? It's Roshi, Krillin, and Jiren.
Hmm.
Or if I'm feeling
weird
if I'm feeling
combo.
squirrely, I drop Jiren for TN.
Oh, so you just want to be useless. Like you want to get hit. Is that your kink?
Uh, Of course. I play the Z Fighters. What do you expect? If I could have a four-man team, Yamcha would be in there every time.
Nah, he's already dead.
I will swap out I'll swap out Jiren and Jiren for TN every once in a while, and I'll swap out Roshi for Yamcha, just depending on what I feel like playing. But
Fair.
I usually keep Krillin in there because Krillin's fun.
Is there a dead Yamcha pop somewhere in your room? Is
Yeah.
that actually a thing? I was just being a smartass.
Oh, he's gonna
He's
pull out the
breaking it out.
receipts. He got the receipts. Oh my
It's
god.
it's a dead Yamcha. That's beautiful.
One of the first, besides the Shinron, it's like one of the first Dragon Ball. The minute I seen it, I was like, I gotta have it on that one. That's like it's my like if I had it, if my wife would let me, dining room table, that's the centerpiece right there.
Dead
Just
Yamcha?
Shinron and then dead Yamcha.
That's fair.
Okay. A weird centerpiece, but I mean, you do you.
Hey, let me live.
So, boys, I am going to let you know we are at the 2-hour mark in 4 minutes. So, I don't
Okay.
know how you guys want to set that up.
I'll let Rico go to his topic. He was patiently waiting.
All right, go to the topic.
It all depends because this is about the redemption.
That's
So-
gonna have to be next podcast
Yeah.
because I think that's gonna take up
Yeah.
like an hour.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Have you watched
Redemption.
Loki yet?
No.
Okay.
Do I need to watch
Loki
that
this
before
week.
next week?
Yes.
Yeah. I need to. Well,
Okay.
the examples I gave, if you, because I know your brother came. Well, Nico came with a oddball, but examples I gave her like redemption. I would like is Loki, specifically the movies, and you can talk about the comics and too. And season 1, Punisher,
Peacemaker and Punisher.
Peacemaker, Hal Jordan from the Green Lanterns, Anakin, Invader, and then Nico mentioned Batman.
Yep.
So that's I guess that's two. I mean, the other ones are like one part of the argument. Then I guess if you count Batman, Superman, all them with their actions,
You know what's funny?
they fall into that
After I
category.
watched Peacemaker and you were telling me about that, yeah, no, Peacemaker like hit the nail on the head with what I was saying because he called
Uh-huh.
Batman a pussy for not killing his enemies. How many deaths had he caused because he didn't do that?
Mhm.
All right. I'll watch Loki this week so we can talk about it then. I got this.
Yeah.
Oh, by the
I
way,
will sacrifice for you guys.
The joke at the end of Peacemaker was, "Mwah, chef's kiss."
Mhm.
I did not expect that. I really didn't.
Yeah, I really didn't think they were going to be able to afford those guys, but
And they got 'em.
they worked it out.
Mhm.
Although it wasn't Wonder Woman and Superman, weren't they just CGI?
They were just
like,
CG.
like
It was-
silhouettes.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
Okay.
Flash and Aquaman.
Okay. Yeah, that was a great ending to the series. It's kind of unfortunate though because it locks it in to the DC
No,
EU and
apparently
not
it
the new
doesn't
one.
because it's separate, I think. because I think
Yeah,
it's not part of the new one. It's part of their Elseworlds.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But my favorite line was "fuck you, Barry."
Mhm,
yeah,
It was so good.
mhm.
yeah. Well, at least he said what we all felt.
Right.
I'm still never gonna get over the ice skating from the Flash movie. Like,
Oh,
I
I
understand.
haven't
I
watched the
understand.
Flash
Okay,
movie yet.
okay. So here's the
Same
thing.
here.
Here's the thing. I understand the concept in theory of there's not enough friction on the ground because he's moving so fast that he can't run like a normal person. He basically just has to sit here and ice skate like this. And
Yeah.
so this is how he runs
Mhm.
at like Mach 3 speeds throughout the movie, which, okay, it looks really cool in comic books because you get that long drawn out scene of
Yes.
the character all like muscles engaged, everything else, like really cool action shots. It's awesome.
it's a great composition photo.
Excellent centerpiece.
Hmm.
Yes. However, when you're sitting there and you're watching a movie and you're watching a guy do this, and he's literally just ice skating around the scene, and they even poke fun at it at one point when Barry loses his powers, and you watch him try to run like that throughout a room with no CGI, no costume, nothing, and you're like, oh, this really does look as stupid as I thought. Like I watched it and throughout the entire movie I couldn't get into the film because I just couldn't stand
Hmm.
how ridiculous it looked.
Oh, dude,
Like,
can we talk? I
yeah,
haven't
don't
watched
do
The
it.
Flash, but I have seen some of the scenes. Michael
Mm.
Keaton back as Batman was,
Beautiful.
mwah, it was amazing. It was amazing. Like, bravo.
No, I absolutely love Michael Keaton in the role. He
See,
did an amazing job to
my
like as a
problem with
replacement.
Michael Keaton was he was never a good Bruce Wayne because he was too much of an oddball. But his
Mhm.
Batman was so fucking menacing.
It was. And at the end we got George Clooney back and that was nice.
Yeah, the best looking. He's the best looking Bruce Wayne, but he doesn't have the right personality for Batman. That's my problem.
No, very, very, very
It's
much
like
not. He's too suave, too
Make Clooney
sophisticated.
Bruce Wayne and then use Keaton as Batman, and I'll be happy.
I mean, my favorite Batman of all time is still Ben Affleck. That's not going to change.
That's fair. I did like Robert Pattinson's Batman though.
He was, he, I
He
am reserving judgment on Robert Pattinson because the Batman was they did a really great job at showing that the Batman is his true persona. That is who he
oh
is. He
yeah.
has not yet discovered how to take off the mask
Mm,
of Batman and put on the mask of Bruce Wayne. He is not the he isn't the playboy. He doesn't want to embrace that life at all at this point, and he doesn't understand the need for it. So like that's
he's
the
a
part that I really
gumshoe
love.
detective, and that's it.
Correct.
Mhm.
And so it's going to take another movie or two for me to decide whether or not I really appreciate him as Bruce Wayne to know like
Okay.
whether or not he's like a top tier Batman.
Okay.
Because he did a really great job as Batman. He's completely sold it. Absolutely
Oh
loved
yeah.
it. But they need to develop the other side of him.
I still think one of the best scenes in that movie is in the police interrogation room when he's talking with Gordon and they're doing like the whole like stuff, and he's really just like, yo, okay, so I'm gonna open the back door and you can get out of here, and he's like, yeah, but how am I gonna get through? Just, don't worry about it, just hit me in the face so hard you can't get out of here. It's just so good. Oh man, the Batman was such a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah, but what so one of the reasons why I love Ben Affleck's Batman, and it's probably not even so much Affleck, it's Zack Snyder. It's that I really loved how he showed off Batman compared to the other superheroes. Like when at the beginning of Justice League is a really good example. Wonder Woman is going really quick, trying to stop the terrorist attack
Mm.
in subway station. I can't remember what
It
it
looked
was.
like
It
a
was
bank or like a
yeah,
post office almost.
but either way, she's spry, she's quick. All of the camera movements were really fast, and like you couldn't see what was happening all the time, but you knew, and so that was really cool. And it fit who Diana is and how they were trying to portray her
Mm.
on screen. And then for Batman, they were really dark scenes. They were gritty. Everything was heavy. The camera movements were slow. His movements were
He beat the
slow.
shit out of Fritz
Yeah, he did that in
because
the Batman
that
vs
was the guy who
Superman
played Fritz,
movie.
right?
I
On the
believe
roof.
so.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah,
him.
yeah, 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 and then in Justice League they did the same thing, and
Mhm.
it was so cool, and it showed that he was the old rundown Batman he had already seen all the shit, and you felt it with
Dude,
him,
he
and it
was
was so good.
a good old man Batman without being old man Batman, because that
Yeah.
in Superman versus Batman, at least in the R-rated version, that first fight when he's taking out the room of dudes it was fucking brutal. There's like one scene where he like punches a dude's head through the floorboards, like, hey Batman, I know you're supposed to be a pacifist and all, but he did. Oh, he
No, he
did.
didn't kill him. He's just paralyzed from the neck down. It's totally different,
So,
okay?
oh, so it's Arkham
he's
Knight
just
Batman.
sleeping.
It's like, no, I gently put you to sleep with my missiles.
Now you sound like Pete. Now you make him sound like Pete Holmes, Batman. He's just
Yes,
hanging
where
in
he's like,
there.
he's like shoots Penguin in the head. He's like, oh, look at the little guy. He's all tuckered out.
Yeah.
Batman that kills
you telling
people.
me-
What? What? That kills people? No, Mr. Fishy.
Oh man.
Oh, dude. Honestly, I want a Pete Holmes Batman movie.
I've seen a couple of movies. Well, not movies. A couple of videos where he's interviewing different,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the Justice
the
League members.
Batman, you're fired.
Mhm.
Those are pretty good too. What was it? When he was trying to figure out his voice in the first episode, and he's like, he just does John Malkovich, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Where is she? You fuck."
Mhm. Where are the drugs? God, where are the drugs?
Oh, classic internet was fun.
Yeah.
That was from like what, 10 years ago? God, had
Yeah,
to be
more than
10
that,
or more.
probably.
Yeah, because that was right around with Batman Begins.
And then it just like with his version, just they got not worse as in like the performance, but just the
No, it just got zanier and zanier as it went on.
Harvey Dent, can we trust him? And he's like, yes, go Batman. One more thing, that was the boy. Like,
Remember when he's interrogating the clown because he thought it was the Joker?
yeah. No, the other one was the Riddler, where he was like,
Oh, the Riddler.
he gives him a
moved
riddle, and he's like, is it a helicopter?
into- Yes.
No, it's not a helicopter. Then he calls, Fox. He's like, is it
Is
Is
it
it
a helicopter?
That's what I said. Oh,
And then
man.
like what was it supposed to be? What, Rachel? And she's like, no, it's a bullet. It's a bullet.
Yeah. And he's like, you date this guy or whatever? Yeah. So you're telling me if I rub this a certain way, it will explode? Oh god. He's like, A is for Alfred, B is for. I was like, oh man. Well, I'll leave you guys with this one.
right.
I did see the picture of Superman, the emblem for Superman. What is it, Superman Legacy? They're calling it. Right now, the
no,
theory is this might lead to, or be about Final Crisis,
Ooh.
because it's the same Superman symbol as in Final Crisis.
Well, what's the
Final
part
Crisis
one
or
is
Infinite
Gods and
Crisis?
Monsters?
Now I want to say Crisis Earth. One of those.
Yeah, Crisis of Infinite Earths or Final Crisis. It'd be weird if they were doing Crisis on Infinite Earths, since they're starting with like a new universe.
But
For
that could
one,
make sense
but
if they want to get
also-
rid of the old universe.
Yes, but also they're currently doing Crisis on Infinite Earths in the cartoon, like in the animated movies. They just released part 1 and part 2 is coming out this fall. So it'd be really weird to follow it up with doing the same story twice,
That's fair.
because
Well-
then they would be rebooting both their animated universe and their live action universe at the same time, the same way.
Well,
What do
I
they
mean-
call this? It's like it's gods. They named like this.
You mean
their
Gods and
phase.
Monsters?
Gods and Monsters. Yeah, I'm not a huge DC
Mm-hmm.
mark, so I'm not 100% on like what they could be going for with that. But that has to be a hint to something.
That's what everybody's saying on that part. I mean, again, with this, I don't know what they're trying. I know with James Gunn, I know he's trying to reboot it. With that, at the same time, I mean, they did cancel the Superman and Lois show that was on the WB.
I did see Nathan Fillion in the cast picture, so I'm wondering who he's playing.
He's playing Booster Gold. I don't know.
Oh, dude, that'd be cool if he's Booster. That would be pretty cool.
Either him or I thought Joel McHale as
That
Joel
would
Booster
be
Gold.
fun.
McHale would be a good booster. Okay, I could
Because I
accept
mean,
that.
he's kind of like he's not an idiot per se, but he's kind of like full of himself
Yeah, no, that would
and everything else.
that would actually be pretty on brand.
I mean, it'd be cool if they do 50. Well, no, they couldn't do 52 because Superman and Wonder Woman
Mm.
and Batman weren't in it.
Although to be
But see,
fair,
this
I
is
did kind of like. I'm not a huge Superman fan, but I did like the new 52 Superman, especially the John Romita Jr. run, because I've
Mhm.
people hate on his art for some reason, but I really like his art style.
That's because it's weird and boxy and ugly.
I
And
think
he just uses lots of lines to distract people from the fact that proportions don't make sense. And he's trying to send us back to the weird mid 90s Rob Liefeld giant triangle upper body. And he's just thought, what if I do that? But instead, I make
actually draw feet.
everything that proportion.
Yeah,
he's trying
that's
to make his
fair.
own style. He's just trying to live, man. Let him live.
No, it's something that
It's
it's
some
the way
people's
he
cup of
draws
tea. It ain't mine.
faces. I really like how he draws faces.
Like blocks.
It's what
Mm,
I like. I like blocks.
makes
Are
sense.
you a toddler?
Have you met me?
There.
But no, I am interesting to see what they do, and with James Gunn at the helm, I think he could actually pull it off. The biggest thing is, I just want a Superman movie where he's not fighting Lex Luthor and he's actually fighting a villain that's not a Kryptonian. Like, I want to see Brainiac or Metallo would be awesome to see. I
But,
would even go as far as Bizarro.
So,
I mean, even with that one again, they all involve Lex Luthor. So unless they make it to where Lex Luthor is in the he's in. I mean, we know he's in the movie, so he could be like just in the scenes, but he's not a man. Like he's not going to be putting on his suit. It's
Mm,
more or less of him just testing out Superman. Because again, it sounds like they're the way they're reintroducing Superman is again it's like Superman one with Christopher Reeves, where it's like okay, he's new.
mm,
Nobody know who he is. They just know this guy can do stuff. Now let's see what we can do to test him.
that's fair.
yeah. Also,
Because
have you guys looked at the list of upcoming DC films?
It's big. I think they're
It's
ending it with Swamp Thing, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's Superman, The Authority, The Brave and the Bold,
Mm.
Supergirl, and Swamp Thing.
I'm really
That
curious
is
about
not
Brave and
the
the Bold because that means
yeah.
that they're doing. I think I saw they're doing Damian Wayne.
They are, yeah.
That
This
that's
is
gonna
a
be weird,
this is not the list of movies I expected at
right?
all.
no,
Well, they had to do
well you're
Batman.
not
That's the only one that kind of stands out to me is Batman because I
Mhm.
don't know where they get gods and monsters out of Batman unless he's fighting something like Killer Croc or Clayface, which is I think the one that they're rumoring is Clayface. Because it can't be one of his it can't be the Joker.
nah, they don't.
They're not gonna do like Catwoman. I doubt they'll do Penguin. It's got to be one of his weird ones. So either Man Bat, Killer Croc, or I just said his name, Clayface.
There were talks previously about Clayface being in the second Matt Reeves film, so that probably wouldn't be a thing.
Ooh,
I
I
don't know if
would
it's still if they're
honestly
still
for the second
considering it,
Matt
but
Reeves film, I kind of want the Joker because Billy Corgan or not Billy Corgan, whoever's playing the
Nah.
Joker looked. The look looked interesting. I wanted to kind of see something more of
Barry
that.
K. I'm
That's
not
it.
even gonna try to watch his last name,
Yeah,
but it's cool. But also, like, can we maybe get someone not named the Joker as a villain in a Batman movie, just like once, please?
You know what they could do? Batman Year Two, the Grim
It's
Reaper guy. That
what
would
they
actually be kind of
did.
cool. No, they
Mhm.
didn't.
It was year two. That was the first movie.
Yeah, but that wasn't the right villain.
That's true.
Oh shit! But
But
it
they already
was
did year two.
pretty close. Yeah, that's fair.
It was literally his second year as Batman. It's kind of
Yeah,
hard to argument they didn't do
yeah.
it.
No, that's okay. You got me there.
Ba-dum-ba-bum.
But yeah, no, it's could be good, and if they keep pace with that and they actually do a proper world building, I think it could top Marvel as far as like this story goes. Because the DC on film has always had better stories. I find to a point.
No,
they're at least less comical. Like I'm sorry. I sometimes want serious. Want a serious comic book movie, and that's something you just don't get with Marvel.
No, I get that point. I get that point. I
Problem
think
was Zack Snyder was too serious.
yeah, he was making everything. He was making
He made
everything
it
too
grim dark.
dark in a sense.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
see,
like I
that's the
said,
thing. That's what I liked about DC was it was always the darker of the two comic books.
Every time you try to mute
yeah.
yourself, it's done nothing all night. Just so we're on the same page. Yeah.
Mhm. No, but see, that's my thing is that like with Superman. I mean, when Man of Steel came about, I did like the tone of it. Do I agree with the General Zod killing him, going that extreme? Not necessarily, but I get how you wanted to flesh out that tone of it. But I mean, again, with DC, you're always going to have a dark Batman, but for Superman to be like that,
Mm-hmm.
nah.
Okay, yeah, Superman was kind of weird the way they made him because Superman's always been a Boy Scout.
Yeah, but he had to kill Zod. That was the whole point
Yeah, that's true.
is he had to find where his limit was. He had to exceed it to defeat Zod, and then he had to set the boundary that I can never do that again. I cannot be the beacon and hope and the light of this world if I'm going to kill my enemies.
That's fair.
Mm-mm. Superman wouldn't do that. I mean, Spider-Man wouldn't do that. I'm joking. I don't. I mean, again, I don't. Again, I still don't agree with it. I'm not saying that he. I feel they could have written it to where. I feel like they probably could have written it to where he could have done it to where he doesn't pull the punches and he gets to the point where it's like he has to stop himself. Where it's like, yo, I'm about to kill this guy and it has to be a different way. And then that reintroduces the Phantom Zone or whatever, if it was possible. But I think with the whole killing him, it just, especially what they did with Batman versus Superman, it's like, okay, you kill General Zod, then you rewrite it and say, well, now due to this generic thing, it becomes Doomsday, and then it looks like a cross between
they've really
like
dropped
a
the ball
Ninja
with
Turtle looking like
Doomsday.
something else. You know, it's like what the heck,
Like, and that's
I
kind
was
of
gonna
why
say
I hope with the reboot, like with the reboot of everything, we get a proper Doomsday arc because you need that long form build up for Doomsday.
Do you
Because
though?
at least a
yeah,
film or two, because he was like the shit that happened with Doomsday was like it was a build up for him coming down to Earth.
Yeah, but you don't
no,
need a
coming up
film
to
or
Oh
her.
two
yeah,
to
coming up
build
from
it
Earth.
up.
Yeah, it was,
You
but it
don't
was a
need a film or
huge
two to
build
build
up.
it up.
It wasn't just the death of Superman. There was like what wasn't it like there were 40 issues leading up to that, split between the
Yeah,
different
because they
storylines?
would have different like towards the end of certain books, they would
Mm-hmm.
have like a just one square or whatever you want to call it, one panel, and it will have something. So all they had it to where, and I don't know, Justice League, their series, or it was a Superman book, where initially it was, I think all you heard was a sound. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like dump, dump, and then it progressed to, I think a Doomsday hand hitting the wall, or
Mm-hmm.
then busting it, and then from there, all I remember distinctly was at one point he was able to out. He opens his hand. He's still restricted. He opens his hand and
The
then he
bird.
crushes a yellow bird,
Mm-hmm.
and then he just cascade from there. So it at least built up and showed you the level of, okay, this is not a joke. This is not a game. And then again, um, I'll 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 compare it to World War Hawk again, where it's like you have all these restrictions on Doomsday. Everybody's like, oh, we're gonna take care of this guy. And he starts whooping people with one hand tied behind his back, and then as he progressively starts getting released, it's just a cascading event. Like
Didn't he kill the Blue Beetle or like severely fuck him up?
I don't,
I don't remember
that
that.
one I don't know
But
that
do you
one
know
because we're
why I
talking
don't
about the
remember?
Because you
core.
never read it.
Because people don't care about all the buildup because it was cool at the time. But all we
Mm-hmm.
care about now is the 40 plus pages straight of nothing but straight brawling
Yes.
action because
Mm-hmm.
that is what made the character cool. It didn't matter that there was
Mm-hmm.
any buildup or that he had any real character development because he honestly didn't. It was the unstoppable force meets the unmovable object, and we
Mm-hmm.
just got to watch it the whole time, and it was super cool. Which is why you don't really need a buildup for Doomsday.
Well,
He
I
is a
think you
great.
don't need a build up in the sense that I'm talking. You need the kind of like what they did with the comic, like do that post credit scene where it's like
Yeah.
you're building up for
The
that big
problem,
battle.
You
my
can do
issue. I would say my
Go ahead.
issue is that when you introduce Doomsday into Batman and Superman, you cheap. It may sound funny. You cheapen not only General Zod's death,
Mm-hmm.
but you cheat the whole creation of Doomsday. The whole part of of Doomsday was the fact that this character was created because the whole thing was is if we had to kill off a character, who can kill him off? If we look at all the villains he
Mm-hmm.
has right now with him, who can kill them all? So you have to create something that had to be as powerful, if not powerful, than Superman. Doomsday comes close, but again, they don't want not Doomsday,
Dark
Darkseid to
side.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's always a game. It's always a game with him. He's not gonna get his hands dirty unless you know. So with Doomsday, that was the whole creation of it to say like, hey, the only way to affect this guy is to bring something from his own home planet, and over time, you see. I mean, it gets explained on how he was created for the whole thing. Like he essentially created just to the fact to destroy anything Krypton, and that
Mm-hmm.
they lost control. Like he's the forgotten, even though the Kryptonians didn't make him, he was just the forgotten weapon that was used that eventually landed on that one, and that was
Yep.
the only thing. That was the only connection to Superman is that he was from Krypton, and he just knew what it was, ready to go attack, and so
That, in all fairness, the death of Superman brought in some really cool variant Supermans, and then we got '90s
yeah,
Superman with the long flowy mullet,
Yeah, we
yeah,
did. It
which
was
was the best
beautiful.
Superman.
It's what
and
Henry
then with
Cavill's Superman should have been.
Oh, dude, it would have been so cool if it was. I love '90s Superman so much.
but I mean, like I said,
We pissed off
the
Rico
whole.
with that one though.
What do you mean?
Oh, you had that look on your face like, man, these kids don't know what they're talking about.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's just like the argument the discussion we always have is that DC or Warner Brothers, you have all. At
Mhm.
least that's me. Nobody's holding anything ransom. You have all the movies, you have all the writers, you have
Mhm.
this. So I get movies just like anything else. It's all about making money for the invest, but why invest and make crappy movies knowing they were doing it? If I switch it over to Marvel, you made Madam Web. Sony, who the hell was asking for Madam Web? And
I think
in the
Madam
Madam
Web
Web you
was a tax
introduce,
write-off.
yeah, like I feel like and in the Madam Web you introduce, even if I go back to the old cartoon, I'm like, Madam Web is already elder, she's already established. She's like, hey, it's here. You have the equivalent. Sony has the equivalent of a
Mm-hmm.
WB or CW show.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it should have been. This should, if anything, that should have been catered to young adults.
Mm-hmm.
This is the show. We're gonna introduce it. Like
So
the
I
minute
got
I
it.
saw the trailer,
Have you ever seen the movie The Producers?
I've heard of it. That's with
That is exactly what Madam
who's
Web
that dude?
is. The
Okay.
producers got together and were like, look, we can make more money on this thing flopping than we can if it actually makes money.
I was really trying to figure out where you were going to go with that
That's
connection
the
for
only
a
thing I can
second.
think of is they did it for the insurance money or the tax write-off. Like that has to be the only reason why they
Yeah.
released it. Because didn't they cancel like some like a couple other shows as well?
Well, you talk about WB
Or
or Sony?
Sony, they canceled a
Sony.
couple other movies, or at least pushed
Off
them
the
in the
Madam
back. I
Web, I
think.
think they went back and they changed. I know the rumor is that they went back and they started counseling and changing stuff, and now they're trying to see what they can do to help out. I wouldn't be surprised if they tap Kevin
Kevin Feige.
Feige to come back and say, "Hey, what can we do?" Because again, the whole
Honestly, who they
introduction for
should
Spider-Man
tap
was because
is
of them.
John Favreau.
Mhm.
Favreau?
Favreau.
Yeah, but he's right now he's tied up. He's
Bodyguard.
tied up with Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, again, going back to DC, it's just again, it's one of those things where it's like you have the material. I get people have divisions, but you can't expect. I mean, again, you can't expect everything's going to be a home run, but cheapen certain things, it turns people off. Like again, my age, and the area I grew up in. I guess I am biased when it comes to certain,
Hmm.
but I also believe that okay, while you can have a traditional recipe of whatever your favorite dish was made, if your wife can make it or whoever can make it, and they can change a little bit of things, but it enhances the flavor. Even if you do updates to it,
Mm.
that's great. But if you change something in there because you thought it was going to be good, or again you're cheap and you thought it's the same thing the same thing will have the same effect. No, it's going to be like that. And that's again, Man of Steel. I liked until he killed General Zod, and then when General Zod was turned into Doom, and you just smashed. And God forgive me, every time they introduced Wonder Woman, I was getting tired of the song too. I know we're going to another thing, but that whole play it one or twice. That's it. We know she's here. Cool. If anything, I liked it when she showed up when it was like a secret. That's my whole thing.
Okay, I do want to
But
talk
I
about
agree.
Sony really quick. I think Sony's trying to catch lightning in a bottle with Spider-Man again because they
Yeah.
keep throwing out everything. Like everything they've done that's not Spider-Man and Venom has been a clunker because people don't give a shit about some of these characters.
Yeah, like Craven.
Madam
Like
Web's
you
from
created
from what is claimed to be the worst Spider-Man arc ever. Craven doesn't need a full backstory, and Mobius, who gives a flying or Morbius, who gives a flying fuck about Morbius?
Yeah, again, it's to me it's a
I want
cash
to
grab.
slap
It's
you
like
so hard.
Do it, I dare you.
I mean, it's a
If only
cash
there
grab.
was an entire country between us right now.
You can't look me in the eye and say that the Clone Wars is a good Spider-Man
It's
arc.
fun. I
It's
didn't have to live through it,
stupid.
so it didn't bug me any. I thought it was fun.
Oh, it's
I
such
I enjoyed Ben
trash.
Riley as a character. I also loved Spider-Man One More Day. I thought it was one of the greatest Spider-Man arcs ever done when it first came out, and I freaking loved every minute of it. So controversial Spider-Man stories are pretty much right up my alley, just so we're on the same page. But I think they're going to hit it off really well with Kraven the Hunter. If it really is Kraven going after Spider-Man, and then they're going to have Tom Holland in it, it's going to
If
be good.
that is a big if. I do not think
I
they're
don't
doing
know
that
what else
unless
they're
they
going
went.
to do for a Kraven the Hunter film.
Well, I don't think Spider-Man's going to be in it. I think it's going to end with him going to
No.
New York to hunt Spider-Man, but I don't think he's going to be in it.
At the most, I would be surprised if
And
Tom
if he
Holland's
is,
in
if
it.
they did put him in it, it was after the movie was finished and they did
Yeah,
they reshot because they
because
knew
the
they
only thing I've
needed
seen,
Spider-Man.
the only thing you see from the trailer is that
Oh,
I
there's a
don't know if he's in a
trailer.
cave or whatever, and you see a bunch of spiders. So I
Yep,
don't
that's
even know that's
all.
a dream either. And I don't know. I hope they don't do the whole again, unless it's tied up in the comic books. And I would have to go back and look. If they do the whole, in a way, like a Batman thing, where he drops down, he sees spiders, he's afraid of spiders. Oh, this is a sign to go after Spider-Man. What I got then? It's not. It's going to be just like Madam Web. It's not going to do, and I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Has anybody in this room actually seen Morbius?
No,
Because I know I haven't.
I want to, but then it's like I don't. I'm not in the mood to watch it right now.
Have you seen Morbius? You're muted, homie.
Yeah, I'm muted. I was talking. I said, yeah, no, I've seen it. Morbius is really good when you are on a long flight, as in greater than 10 hours, and you have the credit card available to you to purchase copious amounts of alcohol whilst watching that movie. At that point, it's pretty good.
Okay.
But that's the only time in which it's acceptable to watch that film and
Oh,
think,
God.
this is an enjoyable experience for me right now. Because there's literally nothing else that you can do in that moment. You're
And that's-
stuck in a metal tube with other people.
And that's why I really hope that Blade doesn't suck because I'm pretty sure Morbius is going to be part of Blade. He'd have to be.
Yeah, but you got to remember too, Blade is going to be done by Marvel Studios.
Mhm.
It's
That's
not done by
true.
Sony.
That is true. I don't know.
So again, with Sony, that's
didn't
why
it get pushed back
again.
again though?
No, the only pushback he had was after the whole thing was the fact that again, when I can't say his name right, but the guy who's playing Blade,
Marshall
this
Ali.
this when he pushed back this one the last time, it was like, hey, you need to change this or I'm out. Because again, he was supposedly to in the interview he was
Oh yeah,
Blade was made
because
to be the
it
fourth
was a Blade
character.
movie where he was the fourth character. Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna be the fourth character. It was gonna be if it's true too. Also, I think it was also gonna be like he was gonna be be three other characters ahead of him. That's what it would have been centered. So it kind of sounds like Halo season 1 or whatever. It's not
Mhm.
even about Master Chief or whatever. And then the script had to be rewritten and stuff like
Oh
that.
God,
So
we never talked about Halo. I haven't watched the series, but I found out it was a real thing, and I saw some clips of it. That
Yeah.
looks like an absolute trash fire.
when you have the lead actor
Yeah.
say the Halo is not about Master Chief. It's not about the helmet.
I mean, the creator said the same thing. They
Yeah.
intentionally avoided the source material so it would not have a negative impact on their creative experience when trying to create the show.
And therefore they
Wow.
have a negative impact.
Which is funny because when they were shopping around for a Halo movie back in the day, they had a Bible that would come with them and be like, "Yeah, we'll do the movie, but if we do, this is what we follow." So
Yeah, I mean that was the beauty of I think what was it not Halo 2 but I think Halo 3 where you came what was it 3 it was 2 discs. You had the game and then you had another disc for all the extra stuff I believe
I
because
think
they
that
had
was three.
Waypoint. They had Waypoint I think is what it was called. So that
Mm.
was the great thing about the lore was like if I'm waiting for people to come on to play PvP I can go back and find out everything unlocked about all the enemies, all the history and everything else like that. Um, why that guy went like that and I haven't seen the series yet is just crazy. So
On the
Okay.
next episode of Nerdverse Odyssey, we'll
Yeah.
continue this discussion.
Yeah, because I
yeah.
gotta go to bed. I got work in the morning.
Same here.
All right,
So again,
peeps.
for me, just because I really want to hear, especially Hunter, since he's all about that redemption. What is the cost of redemption? I'll type in more notes, whatever, and then whatever you guys want to talk about.
All right,
Okay.
dope. I'm down.
All right, guys. Good podcast. Blast facts, kudos all around, and we'll do this again later.
Woohoo!
Take it easy, everybody.
All right, bye.
Ah.